What if this time we will not meet twice? Are we gonna end up in different lives? And I was just a word away. If I could not make you stay, I'm the one to blame for the things I didn't say.
Okay. Delightful. You know, I wasn't sure if it was going to, but that's A-okay. Yeah, you know, it can be a liar, but that's all right. Because I'm just gonna update it on the other one. Loki, you may very well be first. It's in. Executive League. Absolutely. Okay, I changed it title-wise, so we're all good. Yes. One of the delightfully confusing names that we have decided. I believe Loki can hear me.
Because I forgot to unmute my mic in. There we go. I fixed it. Trying to do too many things at once. Oh, the only other thing I need to know is who's going to have what side selection. Do you happen to know?
I can find that out right away. Yeah, there's Horizon Loki. We're all here.
The gang's all here. Okay.
It is indeed. Yeah, let me let me get the schedule. We are week 1. The Manorites are on blue side and Naughty Boys are on red side.
I forgot there's a way, there used to be a way to edit a scene while not changing it.
There is, that's it.
Yes.
I believe so.
There it is.
Real Pike, you are so ready, and I love it. Waving the Manorites banner.
All right.
Fantastic. Pike, are you on the team? Are you an enthusiastic fan, friend of the team? Hell yeah.
That's funny. Streamlabs was yelling at me as a notification to turn my mic on. That's hilarious that somebody knew that and I didn't.
Streamlabs will yell at you. Well, good on you for showing up for your team, Pike. And hey, you know, here in the LBLCS, we don't even technically have a distinction between starters and subs. So as far as I'm concerned, you're just true blue on the team. Hell yeah. Is yellow the team color? I gotta look at their logo.
It's weird that on Streamlabs the chat's
It
not
is
showing up. I don't like that. Normally when I don't know why that's.
Yeah, I usually chance is quite a bit louder than Horizon. It's possible that I'm just trying to swallow my microphone. Whoa, Pike. Silver trash. please. I can't allow you to talk about yourself that way, because if that's how you're talking about yourself, what am I? I mean, I'm unranked.
What are any of us?
And I guess, truly, I have not played my games of League yet. I have been sucked so deeply into Slay the Spire. It's hard to get out.
Slay the Spire, fantastic game. I've been really enjoying Slay the Spire too.
Dude, so much fun. Multiplayer, they nailed it. They just took the Slay the Spire board game and, flipped it into being a video game, and that's brilliant, and I'm not mad about it at all, not even for a second.
I've been really impressed with the second one. I was curious, like, how much better it would be with the second one in terms of the change it would make, like if there would be enough content to actually warrant an upgrade. But it has been like fantastic, and also I do enjoy the new characters.
Yes, we've got Space King, Regent guy, and the Necrobinder with their adorable bone-handed friend Osti.
Yes, we're Osti stands around here.
Hell yeah. Timberborn did get an update. My YouTube algorithm dumped the trailer. What is it, Loki? Is it 1.0? I know you've been playing Timberborn. Also, just for posterity's sake, QMan4949 and IO Dude, thank you both so much for being the newest investors in the low-budget LCS. You followed us an hour ago and 4 hours ago, respectively, so I don't think that you're here right now, but just in case you watch a VOD.
They're here in spirit.
Exactly.
That's the most important part, right?
Yeah.
I feel like people do that. They go back and watch the stream like, I wonder if I was acknowledged.
And you were. Trust.
Question for you. If enough people invest, like, what is, and I'm not asking you like a budget number, but like what's the amount of money that like you'd have to get for like the LBLCS to be like mid budget LCS? You know what I mean? Like what's
here's the reality. If things were like going well enough that happened, we've always talked about how the first little bit of funds are going to go to some. All right, this is my pitch, and I talked about this on stream before, but I want us to buy a billboard in a random place in the United States, and then
Absolutely.
I want to take a trip to that billboard and take a picture of as many staff as we can get in front of that billboard, and then the billboard isn't the ad, it's the picture of us in front of a billboard, that's like exactly,
and the
that's
next
the
level.
ad. And it's in the middle of a random highway or like in front of a huge cornfield.
And the next level, we get that photo on an official Riot broadcast somehow.
Exactly.
I'd like to think it's like one of those infinity pictures where like it's the billboard and then people in front of the billboard, the picture of that, and then that picture being in like a Riot arena or something like that, and then a picture of that photo in a Riot arena somewhere else. Like you just keep stacking it for like forever.
Absolutely.
Oh.
Yeah, Loki, for sure. Yeah, the amount of money that it would take to turn a volunteer organization into a full-time stat that where it's really people are being paid, what their 100% what their value is. I can't even imagine. This whole thing exists on the good graces of the community, and
2 cheeseburgers and Diet Dr. Pepper, and you got me.
There it is. Boom. Boom. We're locking that contract
we're locked in.
in.
I'm locked in. 2 cheeseburgers and a Diet Dr. Pepper. You can call that puppy shipped. I'm ready.
Perfect. And Loki, I believe you asked for 200K. We'll also do that. Yeah, no.
Staffing
we've
money's
like
mid-budget. Absolutely.
Jim Jam, the Slim Slam. Thank you for being the newest investor in the low-budget LCS, but more than that, thank you for having an incredibly fun name to say. that is just so delightful. I actually had to take a second to make sure that it was exactly what I thought it was, and it was. Good on you, Jim.
How are you feeling about the start of the season, LBLCS wise? I know like a bunch of games have already started being played. I know we had like a weird down day yesterday,
Yes.
the end of Tuesday and yesterday, but it seems like most of the teams have kind of recovered from that in terms of like getting rescheduled, and most of the games are going ahead fairly well. But like it's been, I don't know, for me it's been exciting, like getting back involved with the LBLCS and just seeing the teams compete. Like everyone seems very excited.
Yeah, no, I think it's going well. There's always also really quick, do you have an invite to this game?
I do not.
We've got
I just
a
got
lobby.
your friend request. I do not have a
Awesome. Dope. Inviting you. All right. Perfect. Delightful. Feel free to come and join me in the spectator clown car.
Yes, I am. Sorry, I was trying to get the logo selected, and then I'm
100%.
switch these guys.
Great question. I think teams are doing a great job of bouncing back from that. Usually once or twice a season, there will be some like huge riot outage that we can do nothing about.
Yeah.
And we, everyone does a great job of just rolling with the punches. So we had a bunch of teams that rescheduled. We had some people who just sort of like waited the disruption out. But we try to make it so that, if an active god disrupts your game, that nobody's really punished. In the past, we've moved things around for hurricanes and floods and any manner of disasters.
Sure.
Not that a hurricane is at all equivalent to the Reddit servers being down a little bit, but
you're right. Reddit servers being down is worse than a hurricane.
It's much worse.
Much
Thank you for
worse.
being on the same page.
Oh,
what's up, Pastor Jabba? Yeah, happy 1 week to you as well. Happy 1 week to all of us.
It's been really cool seeing how well things have been set up here. Like, because I had talked to you even about how you guys handle, not only the disruptions, but even just structuring the league so that things work well. And like, it's one thing to hear about that and another thing to see it. And, I think I've been very impressed with how it's been run.
Well, shucks, we're collectively blushing. There's a lot of great people who do a lot of great work to help this league run it all. So the real shout outs go out to everybody behind the scenes who, helped with point values for teams, made the draft site that these teams are using right here, and just put all the teams into pools and read the 180 applications, which came in. Dear God, carrot in a box. Gifting 5 subs to Lord Dre Play, Perfect Fid, Zin Money, Loki, and Voodooed 2020. Wow, what a mensch.
Loki, you weren't subbed already? How dare you?
I actually think
get called out by the dono.
I think Loki. Wait, but Loki did something 20 months the other day. I think it's just she's just
consecutive games. For 20 months. I think it was consecutive streams.
Yes, yeah. That's what it was. But we're here and we're in it, and first pick Syndra coming through.
Yep. Oh, go ahead, sorry.
No, that's just all right. So on the side of the Naughty Boys, we've got Zelius in the mid lane. One of the admins has been in the league for a long, long time and has a filthy Zelius. Or filthy, Zelius is filthy. Fuck you, Zelius. I hope you listen to this stream. Just kidding. Hope you're doing well. Has a disgusting Syndra. So that getting taken off, always hard to tell if it's like a pick away or if that's something that they're just good at on their own. But either way, part of the narrative of tonight.
Yeah. one of the things I was looking at when I was trying to go through the priority that these guys drafted in terms of, you know, champions and how they kind of like to play, one of the things that I definitely noticed on the mana rights, there's a heavy emphasis on CC and like team fighting and zone control. So it's like a wombo combo synergy in terms of what they want to do. And the Naughty Boys kind of the same thing, but they have a little bit of a different philosophy to it in terms of how they want to approach like some specific matchups. But yeah, the Syndra, I'm definitely like a huge fan of just because of the agency it gives you in the mid lane, and then pairing that stuff up like with Wukong and Ashe, like that's asking for really good team fights.
Totally, yeah. A nice scatter the weak into Wukong Cyclone, into just an Ashe arrow slamming in. I mean, just all the knockups, the slows, the stuns. It's a great amount of CC. And to me, that says this is a team that they've got their pick already in the first half of the draft. They're going to be wanting to make some plays, and I'm looking forward to see them execute on that promise.
How do you feel about the Syndra Akali matchup? Because I feel like it's one of those things, like Akali does get bullied out of a lot of matchups early, but then once she reaches level 6 and starts to get some of her early itemization, she does fine. But I feel like Syndra is just oppressive through like every stage of the game.
Totally, yeah. I mean, I'm going to sort of take the coward's way out and say that this is just going to be a little bit about hands, right? Like, you've got ranged into melee matchup. Akali is a champion who's like, the kit is designed to be able to get close and assassinate somebody. So if you can pull that off, great, you've won it. You just got to keep doing it over and over again. Now, again, that's Scout of the Week. It's just, you know, easy as pie, right? Just a nice cone, get the hell away from me, pushes everything back. So yeah, I mean, we're just gonna have to see how the lane plays out. And it's also, I think, one of those matchups where someone gets ahead, it's gonna start to look pretty oppressive.
Yeah. Already, I'm starting to see like the kind of tank priority from Naughty Boys. If they do lock that Leona in, that gives them a lot of like point-click CC. The one concern I have from Naughty Boys right now is just that Sejuani early game, because Wukong is so much more mobile across the map. Like he does have a faster clear, and to some degree has a little bit of an easier time ganking, like just through lanes. Because Sejuani is one of those champions, like not only because the character model is so big, but also just because like the routes that she has to take through. Like she's super reliant on her Q to dash over walls, whereas Wukong has multiple resets of that. So like speed of ganking and then just like speed farming, I would think Wukong's going to have the priority. So I'm interested to see like what they'll pair sort of towards the top lane to kind of maybe mitigate some of that and give them a lane prio.
Yeah. I mean, we're coming down to last picks for both teams here, so we're gonna see the full picture in just a moment. That Emilio's always so annoying, but there's definitely going to be some CC to cleanse. The Scion locked in for the mana rights.
Yeah, I like that. Gives them a lot of front line, gives them some scaling options, gives them some late game threat as well, because Scion's always one of those champions you hate having a fight super late into the game. It just feels like he doesn't die, especially with the kind of lack of armor shred. Like Jinx is going to be a little bit difficult. Oh, but there's the Darius. Yeah, that's just as I was about to say. We're losing, missing some of that sort of just straight health and armor shred, and they lock in one of the best shredding champions in the entire game, in Darius.
Yeah, that's beautiful. I love it. I haven't seen Darius in a hot minute, but I'm excited to see it right now. And I am going to start the predictions. I have to quickly remember who won last night's game 3. Pretty sure it was Pill Country Pirates. All right, here we go. Delightful.
I lost a lot of channel points on that series.
Did you now?
I was certain that first game was gonna go. What was it? Not PZP, but whoever's red side. Whoever's red side that first game. Kappalongus. I was absolutely certain that draft was gonna win, and then I looked like an idiot after some bad team fights. I was like, man, I'm not making a good record for myself with this prediction.
Dude, that's the beautiful thing about organized league. It can go any which way. But listen, folks, you know, Horizon lost their channel points last night, but that won't necessarily happen to you.
Yeah.
Go and find out, because the predictions are live.
Warrior spirit is never broken.
Skin in the game.
Sorry.
No, that's it. How much did you lose?
I don't want to talk about it. All of them is the answer.
Good.
Listen, if it happened to me, though, it couldn't possibly happen to you. Not 2 nights in a row. Not on the LBLCS. No one loses all their channel points twice.
No, that's ridiculous.
It's ridiculous.
Also, Loki is saying that the game might be a little bit too loud. I'm not sure if that's something that we can...
The game or the music?
It's a great question. Loki, I pitch it to you because...
yeah, the lobby music. Maybe a little loud. I'm going to cut it just a little bit. Gotcha. Yeah, it's the game sounds. Whoops. Hopefully that's
Sammy, 2slap, you've redeemed a caster compliment. Sammy, it's so easy to compliment you because you're one of the fantastic and magnanimous volunteers at the low budget LCS. And I believe you've been keeping the stream sheet up to date. And just in general, you've been like on top of tickets, always like helpful. You hopped in with a very helpful comment in the dev chat the other night as we were trying to have something else figured out. So, you know, you've just got some really solid situational awareness, and just the more time that you've spent with us, I just think you've become a master of your domain. Oh, also, Sammy does a little interview show, which we'll be uploading to YouTube, where people from the community have conversations with Sammy. So feel free to check out our YouTube channel and check out his show there.
Sammy, I've never met you, and I love you already.
See? There you go, Sammy. Beautiful. Nice. Finding the exact right percentage to use.
So run a poll on whether or not chat thinks you should be 50 or 45. That's the real question.
That's the real question. Sammy, I can't allow that negative self-talk here. For the love of goodness.
I'm excited to see this game because I think these are 2 really good drafts. Not to segue from nothing, but like,
please.
I mean, if you're looking at this, like Darius, Sejuani, Akali, like it's 3 melee with Sejuani, which is fantastic, plus Jinx, so it's definitely like a protect the Jinx comp. But then versus like what I consider to be kind of like a full dive comp almost. Not full dive, maybe half dive, because you have Sion Wukong, which gives you a lot of dive, plus Ash Arrow to step it up. And then Syndra is just kind of like a skirmisher, where it just kind of keeps everything contained, and Emilio keeps everyone topped up. But like very similar philosophies on how they want to approach the game, of like a lot of skirmishing, a lot of team fighting. And to me, like when you see comps like that, it makes for like the best games because they become really explosive, like around level 5, level 6, or like early objectives. And then you just start seeing these guys trade back and forth a lot, and the game becomes really bloody and really fun to watch.
Yeah, couldn't agree more. I think this is going to be, it has the potential to be very volatile. And I think these are 2 teams that are perfectly capable of executing on that, and bringing the pain. I mean, yeah, I'm looking at 2 teams that have excellent pick potential, and with the communication that I expect from these guys, I think we're going to see a lot of wheeling and dealing, a lot of ganks and picks in an attempt to open up space in their opponent's defense, maybe grab some quick neutrals when they can. But yeah, everything I'm looking at here doesn't say a slow game to me.
No. Okay, let's play this game because I like doing this since we have a little bit of time. Who gets first blood?
I love the first blood question. It's a great question. I think that first blood is going to come in the mid lane, and here's how it's going to happen. There's going to be a relatively early gank in which Syndra's flash will be blown. Then about a minute later, that's when the first blood's going to come in, and it's going to be because they're going to wrap back around. They're going to execute on the fact that Syndra has blown their flash, and I think that's going to happen before 4 minutes.
I think what's going to happen is Syndra's going to overpush. Sejuani Akali ganks, but Akali, trying to greed for the kill, goes underneath turret, and Syndra gets first blood barely, but still dies.
Okay, and the minute mark?
Not sooner than 2 minutes, but no later than 4 minutes.
Now, I love, first of all, Real Pike is on the Mana Rights team. They are on blue side, so we're getting some valuable information and realizing that, more than likely, we're a little bit off because Real Pike is saying Malfeasance has never blown a flash or overpushed in their life. But still, Pike still thought that First Blood was going to happen on their team, believing that Sion will die, which really, really makes me think that Pike is right.
Let's see if I can... Sometimes the software is a little finicky, and it shouldn't be.
Looks like it's grabbed it.
There we go. Alrighty. All right, folks, and we're on to the Rift for the first game. How do you guys... I hope you guys like this. And LeChance, tell me how you feel about it. This is, I think, a lot of fun to have.
I think this is fantastic. There's no complaints from me. Listen, buddy. We've got a real Wild West out here in terms of streamers. Oh my goodness, walking up very early. Ash says, "Hey, I've got range too." Leona says, "Range? What's that? I'm gonna get up close and personal." We've got sums being blown, auto attacks coming through, Jinx having to kite back, and this is just such a great use of that level 1 Ash strength. The wave is here, but the game has already begun.
Man, I think we had it wrong. We were, predicting it was going to be explosive in this mid lane, but these bot laners just walked down there and said, to hell with it, I don't want minions. They're just going to start punching each other in the face. More importantly, too, like you hide out the sums, Smarkton obviously burning that heal. All sums available for Naughty Boys in that bot side, and I think important to notice, too, that cleanse on Jinx for any CC shenanigans should early ganks come.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think, Leona with that flash ignite, I'm going to keep an eye on that. But so much aggression from both teams already and from different sides of the map too. Zelius, mentioned it before, but Zelius very comfortable on Syndra. Even though Zelius is playing Akali, he's just very familiar with what Syndra is capable of. So walked up on Akali, slapped the shit out slapped the shit out of Syndra, and gained a little bit of lane dominance there, trading some health. But whoa, that is a low-looking Jinx.
Yeah, that is ripe for a gank here soon, and Kangaroo might be looking to potentially wrap around on this soon. Obviously, jungler's still trying to get through their early clears of their camps, so they're not necessarily going to get super involved. And it's one of the things I think I've kind of been disappointed with as far as the changes to the game is the fact that, junglers, you're kind of forced, due to the quest changes, to really start hard farming your camps to try to get to level 6 and potentially look to get an objective first rather than an early gank. There's not too many junglers that actually want to give up that early prio of like money and experience to get an early gank. So in some ways, like the Jinx is protected a little bit, but that will end if the health bar gets too low.
Yes, for sure. God, Darius. I mean, this is what we talked about. There's the first blood, and Real Pike got it right, predicting accurately that Sion would be the first blood. Beautiful. Beautiful, well done. We were dead wrong.
Well, we were dead wrong. Yeah, traded said, to hell with waiting for level 4, 5, and 6. I'll just shred your health now. And exactly what we were talking about. Like, Sion wants to stack that scaling health, but very difficult to do when Darius can just take your head off anytime he wants.
Yeah, listen, you brought up changes to the game earlier, and one of the ones that, as someone who loves to play with my friends, that I was sad to see was that the game starts earlier because it really removes the ability to do any, just flat out shenanigans. I love level 1's invade. Invades are gone. But credit to the mana rights here. We saw what level 1 can look like, which was just walking up on Ashe, getting so much damage down, and really surprising the Naughty Boys. And then the wave being here, boom, you've guaranteed yourself lane dominance for, at least a minute. So just great heads on their shoulders and a great way to play the beginning of the game.
Yeah, and I think, to your point, it's actually really important that Trader was able to get that because bot lane, bot lane, the mana rights are going to have a lot of pressure in terms of having not only this Ashes Melio, so they'll permanently be pushing Naughty Boys in. So what that means for Naughty Boys is okay, rather than trying to contest Malfeasance. Okay, not going to die there. I'm still free to make my point before anybody dies in mid lane. But what that means is that Naughty Boys can actually make a play towards the top side and try and look to get the Krugs. They'll be a little bit delayed on the Dragon timing. Funny enough, though, and I'm curious what you think about this, every jungler that I've talked to, both in this league and others, they've talked about that they really don't like having to go for the Krugs at all, and they would rather much just stack Dragons, and that even when they're just kind of
I'm sorry. Speaking of things that people don't like, I cannot imagine that Sion is happy laning against this Darius. Traded is using Darius to full effect, reminding me why I don't like that champion, bringing back some horrific memories from season 4 and 5, where I started playing top lane.
This is the moment in every solo queue game where everyone's just spam pinging the Sion dude. Like, dude, what are you doing? Stay out of your turret. And it's just like not even recognizing. There's really, oh, Zelius.
Wow. Great slippery play here from Zelius. He was now going to go in. He's left himself an escape route as well, and he's going to take it just so clean. Again, Zelius really knows what Syndra is capable of, and I think Malfeasance is giving this Akali a lot of respect. They just got their ult in too, so this lane looks different now. It doesn't matter how many flips Akali does, you cannot dodge a Syndra ult.
No, you cannot. It's kind of one of those things that, so I liken it to kind of those moments where you see the Volibear server jump up and they think they're going to have this epic moment and they're going to just return to server and then they just get decked in the face. That's what it's going to feel like for Zelius, like as this Syndra starts to get slowly stronger and stronger. So it's interesting to say like when the junglers are going to try and get involved in that lane too, because eventually someone's going to get low.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, no, I've to your point about junglers, I've heard a lot of people talk about where it's like you feel very incentivized to stay in the jungle. This patch of League of Legends has really been about like do your job, go to work.
Yes.
You've got a role, do it. And there are some good things about that, and there are some bad things about that. And I think you could make an argument that some creativity has been stifled, but I think that's always going to be short term as people figure out how to sort of like bend the bars and make interesting and fun things happen with the limitations that the game puts on them.
Sure. Well, and I think from a jungler perspective too, having done it for enough time, having main jungle for a couple seasons, the one thing I have noticed is it's nice to not have to feel that additional pressure of like having to get something done in the lane. Because for a while, it was always that difference of like, okay, do I focus objectives and try and get ahead that way for maybe a later game thing? Or am I trying to like counter the other jungler's pressure in a different lane or even answer them in the same lane and like constantly feeling under pressure like if I don't do an objective, then my team pings me. If I do an objective and then someone gets ganked, well, now it's my fault. So I think from that perspective, yes, a little bit.
Wow, Zelius going all the way in. They want it. There's the flash. There's the ult. And the Syndra responds. The tower dive, predicted by Horizon, comes into fruition. A fantastic play on both ends, but just a sliver of health is what's going to keep Malfeasance in the game.
The only part I got wrong was that Malfeasance lived, or was supposed to die. Apparently, he just decided he was going to live that one. I don't care. Fantastic play, and I think a misplay from Zelius as well. Like, don't get me wrong, like Malfeasance did do what he needed to do in that lane to survive that and sidestepped, but also like Zelius not hitting some of those skills and missing out on quite a bit of that damage. Realistically, if he hits all of his abilities, he gets that kill and gets out from underneath turret, so massive misplay.
For sure, Malfeasance, it was killable there. And we're going to see what happens the next time because, we're in the rinse and repeat portion of the game. Zelius does not seem deterred either. Just going to walk up, get some damage. He is going to get pinged by Scatter the Weak.
Yeah, that's always fun.
There. Oh, yeah, absolutely. It's a shotgun. You're going to hit something.
Sag, flash forward.
Oh, shoot. I looked away at the chat. That was a mistake because a huge fight has happened down here, and Vizzy is going to pick up a kill in the bot lane. Jinx happy to be putting some more gold in her pocket.
Yeah, that was just one of those split-second plays where they're calling the jungler down. It's Ty, had plenty of time to get over there, and then obviously no ward. They didn't really have a chance to scan for it, but I think they just assumed that without Ford, how much pressure that TMS was trying to put, sorry, I blanked there for a second on the name, as much pressure as TMS was trying to put forward, that they just weren't respecting the ability for Sejuani to just gank, and it's just kind of one of those things like over the wall, and then ult, locks down one player, nowhere to go. Speaking of lockdown.
Speaking of lockdown, couldn't have said it better myself. Not much you can do about that. Full Leona ult to the face, and the damage was followed up shortly after. That's a pretty clean response.
No flash. Flash difference.
There it is.
It does suck to
There it is. That's my prediction coming true. Yeah, no, I mean, these are two teams that are going to be moving around the map quite a bit. But we've got some solid force projection here from the Naughty Boys. They've got 1.6k gold lead, and they're cruising. They're using it. They're making things happen for sure.
Absolutely. And I think like Ocean Soul too, like if this is, obviously we'll have to wait to see which actual soul this is going to be, but if it is a potential Ocean Soul, Naughty Boys would really like to get that just because of the sheer amount of poke that the Mana Rights have. And something interesting too on that note, I noticed that Zelius in this addition, the ability for him to poke with those 5-point shurikens, has the teleport. So initially in the lane, you would think like, oh, not having that ignite for that kind of poke stuff would suck. But what that does mean is that any ability to sort of play around the Akali not being in a fight has kind of disappeared because she has teleport.
Yes.
So anytime there is a 1v1 or a 2v2, you've got an Akali, which just does an incredible amount of damage at any stage of the game, just joins the fight, and then suddenly it's not fair anymore.
Yeah, no, for sure. And, you know, personally, I really like that decision. I know that some people, they want to take Ignite and they want to just, like, continue to kill. I respect that, but I like the play with the team in mind of having access to that teleport. We're getting a little bit of a peek back up here into the top lane, but I can't help, I just noticed the bottom lane, the CS difference is they're closing that gap. Jinx has done a great job. Vizzy has done a great job. At one point, it was like 16 to 32. And they've just stayed calm, cool, and collected, which is exactly what you need to do in that situation.
Yeah, and at the adverse side of that, obviously top side, you know, that CS difference is growing, and it's going to get worse too. And for Supernaut, that hurts more. Oh, hold on, traded.
Yeah, this is Darius facing him down the lane. I don't know if he's got the full kill. He might. Really depends. I think he's right on the cusp.
Yeah, he'll have to go under turret to get it. I don't think he wants to risk that as there was an ult miss there on a Malfeasance.
Yes, there was.
But the
but
point
Dragon's up.
Yeah, sorry. I think for Naughty Boys, they want to go ahead and try and prioritize getting the Dragon. You don't want to go down 2 with TMS already having one. They want to kick off a fight here.
A little fight breaking out here. A magnificent Leona ult going to tag 2 people, but Wukong's coming to back up. He's actually going to push the dive towards the Jinx. That Ashe arrow, very nice. Going to draw the cleanse out from the Jinx, who's making it back to the tower. That's a flash. Jinx in great position for some auto attacks. They can switch to rockets if they want an Akali. There's a rocket. Zelius going in, hungry for a kill, backed up by his team. He sees a low health Wukong, but it's not enough. Yes, it is. He gets the kill and flashes out. Jinx still here. Jinx gets excited. That's 2 low health members of the Mana Rights as Vizzy could push, but they're not going to. They're going to pull back. They're going to keep their heads, and they're going to take this dragon.
Fantastic fight. That looked so bad for Naughty Boys at the beginning. It looked like they had been caught out at the Dragon. TMS able to just run straight into the Mana Rights, having all the damage they needed, but they couldn't finish anybody off. And then Naughty Boys, they get back underneath the turret, and then who should arrive but Zelius himself? And again, almost looked like nobody was going to get a kill, but then that final dash forward and one more Q just blows up the health bars of TMS.
When you are playing a melee ranged assassin, you have to have a courageous heart. You didn't pick that champion not to take risks, and we saw that on display right there as Zelius dove in. I'll tell you what, if I'm in that situation, I'm just happy that my team got out of that fight because the Mana Rights did a great job of the punchback, right? Wukong shows up, dives into the back line. Yeah, it was Horizon.
It was me the whole time.
The game, stopped casting and streaming. Wukong is able to push, basically, you know, on their own. That's not true, but push the entire team back, get them under tower, get them really low. But they decide to re-engage, and it really pays off.
Absolutely. And something else I think that's important to note, too, is the top laners weren't even involved in that fight. So no Darius, no Sion. I think Sion would have been, depending on where he's at, probably not able to get underneath the turret to teleport. So you're kind of just calling for your team like, hey, this is going to be the 4v4 down there, so y'all need to win it without intervention. But, I mean, you got to think, too, with Darius gets involved that, he's already 2-0. He has 124 CS. He's well ahead of the Sion, not only in, I think, really in XP, which we can't really see right now, but then also just in gold itemization. He's really going to hurt in those team fights where it's going to be harder to get away from him. So, I mean, if you're Naughty Boys, you're feeling really good about the result of that fight, and you walk away with the dragon.
Yeah, nothing really to be upset about there. And while Naughty Boys are definitely... Oh, that's a nice arrow slamming into Zelius into Vizzy right there. And that is going to be the clean pickup from Malfeasance. Great coordination. Great cross-map arrow from the Ashe. It was just beautiful.
Yeah, it's one of those rare moments where you actually see one of those lands. I feel like we've all been in solo queue games where you just see that Ashe arrow just sort of fly by and doesn't hit anybody. Uh-oh, speaking of flying by,
Zelius. So slippy. Oh my god.
Yeah, doesn't even want to risk it. Just takes the ultimate out. And I think a good call there. No reason to die there. You don't want to give over any kind of shutdown gold. It's worth 100 right now. Sion's going to get out of dodge, but...
I love it, though. I love that super not putting respect onto their lane. That was, honestly, a great use of the ult right there. Just don't turn over another kill. Especially after a great pick by your team. What I was going to say before that happened was that there is plenty of time for the Mana Rights to still gain control of this game. We're still quite early on, and they have so much pick potential. If they keep playing like they are, there's definitely going to be a way back in. But Zelius really doesn't want that to be the case, because he is going to go back in, draw the exhaust out right here. It's a 2v1. Does he have the damage? He has to back out and back off. But Melio, these enchanters, keeping their ADCs, turning them into front lines. That was really well played.
Yeah, it's tight. He's going to get seen on the ward, so no going to be no further follow-up play. I have to say, like, in some aspects, that's very respectable. Like, for Zelius to try and go in on that, and, like, the damage is great. But also, like, a little bit of a futile effort there because, like, Smarkton and Wear and Sweats burned really no significant summoners other than the exhaust. Smark didn't have flash to burn, still has healing, and then obviously Wear and Sweats still has his flash. So a good effort, but really not worth the whole lot. Is Vici going to dodge yet another long-range Ashe arrow?
Those are going to be coming for him.
Yeah.
Ashe is not letting the bot lane
Calling
go.
a timer.
Whoa! Really, really well done. Wukong over the wall. Leona.
Chopping.
Run away. Very nice, though. A nice ult. And there's actually going to be a dive onto the back line.
Here comes Darius.
Survives it. Darius on his way down. A big, meaty axe. You don't want to fight him right now. He's been getting kills up in the top lane for quite some time. A good flash over the wall. Zelius is on the clone, but traded. Knows what's up and where to go. He's going to draw a flash out from Malfeasance.
Yeah, a lot burned there and no kills to show for. I mean, in the end, Leona's kind of the only one to go down, so not so good for Naughty Boys. But at the same time, like, they do still have pressure all across the map. Like, they're going to start to put pressure on this mid lane turret. So, some resources and time burned, but they're going to throw their Herald down. Look at this mid turret. So not the worst outcome for Naughty Boys, all things considered.
No, I don't think so. And, my personal value, or for my estimation of, like, what makes a play worth it, even the fight down in the bot lane, like, I think both sides, it's a little bit about, like, that force projection of, like, Zelia showing he's willing to make those plays, and even just getting rid of that exhaust right there. God, just constant action, constant aggression. Leona deserves a lot of credit for these ultimates. I've seen multiple multi-man ult hits. It's just, and here we go, another one, crushing it, landing it onto Malfeasance. As a Syndra, it is hard to get through this. Does have time to drop the combo and the ult, but it is not enough to kill Zelius.
Yeah, and what a great time to get that kill, too. Dragon has spawned, no mid laner. Your top laner is going to be still trying to push out this lane, doesn't want to really try to give up that tower. Darius could just kind of keep him up there, doesn't need to commit. So great timing. Ashe arrow looked like maybe it was going to stall the fight for a little bit, but yeah, just too much damage for Malfeasance to survive.
Yeah, and they've really got one out for Malfeasance here. 3-3-0. Malfeasance, I think, has been playing really well, and they're just putting a lot of resources into it, and they've got a team that if they decide that they want to kill you, they can just do that. Now, Leona decided to take a little exploratory trip over stop the back. But no harm, no foul.
Zealous is just looking sideways at Ash like, yeah, step just a little too far away from that Melio and see if I don't kill you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The other point I wanted to make that's kind of, I think, been more prevalent in the last couple of minutes is, like, for topside, even though Darius still, which is kind of crazy, actually, I'll supplement that point. The fact that he's been out of lane this much but still has a CS lead is kind of crazy. But the more important, I think, there is the fact that the bleeding has really stopped for Sion. Like, he's had alone time in this lane to pick up turret plates, get some of that gold, still try to farm up. And inevitably, what's going to happen is, even though Darius, like, does do a lot of damage right now and does scale decently into the late game, there's going to reach a point where that Sion just isn't killable by Darius, except if it's like 5 minutes to just sit there and wail on him. And in a team fight, that's going to be super valuable, because with Akali and Darius trying to get on the back line, if you have to get through this Sion that's just constantly in the way and not dying, it makes that job just so much harder.
Yeah, and this is like one of the realities of top lane, that like a true blue skill is just about stopping bleeding, right? Just chilling out, Ash arrow, gonna go wide, but I love it. I love that that they're practically using this on cooldown, and they're constantly in a position to make some sort of pick or some sort of play. Malfeasant's trying to do it on their own. Zelly's gonna go forward, get a little bit of damage out there, but gonna take a turret shot for their troubles. And it's good that they backed off, because Wukong is here. Kangaroo, ready for some blood.
I appreciate that flip, thinking, man, if I could just do this fast enough, I'll avoid that turret shot, but still kind of eats it. Man, he's still playing on the edge, though. Like, he does not care that multiple people there. If he sees an avenue to get this kill, he's going to try. And you have to respect that. I mean, exactly like you highlighted earlier, you cannot be one of those people that's scared to play a call. Like, you have to be willing to take the extreme risk. It's taking a risk.
Speaking of, Zelius really going for it. Going to find themselves in the 2v1. Got that second charge of the ult, but a nice flash burn here by the Wukong. He uses the second charge, and he's gonna get the kill. Kangaroo waited for that, and it paid off. But the Naughty Boys are not deterred, because the information they gained is that the jungler is in the bottom side of the map.
Oh,
which
TMS.
means Baron is for dinner.
TMS knows this is happening. They're rallying. They're trying to get here as fast as they can. Sion's going to try and get in, but gets blocked by Traded.
Yeah, Traded's going to have to hold the front line right here. I love what Sion's doing, trying to get into the mix, but that's a low health on the Baron. They are going to secure it. Naughty Boys now, Baron and Power, are going to choose to fight, as Darius is going to shred that backline, get the double kill. They are on fire.
Traded?
They're getting the resets of the ult. Incredible. Leona's going to go low, but they are going to live, and this is a huge come up for the Naughty Boys off of a pick where their mid laner gets killed. They don't care. They come out ahead.
No offense to Zelius, but like, if I could trade my mid laner for a free Baron and 2 kills, I'll take that trade any day. And Traded, talking about trading, traded a little bit of his health bar to get 2 kills and got so much work done in that fight. Blocks the Sion ult, unilaterally just zoning half the team away from Baron. Sion just stuck in pit by himself, gets comboed down, and then Traded, on top of it, just runs 2 people down and collects kills. So, I mean, if you're Naughty Boys, you're really, really happy with that trade.
Yeah, for sure. And just had Flash at the exact right moment. Starts getting those resets. Absolutely incredible all around there from the Naughty Boys. And now it is up to the Manorites to respond to this, right? They've got to... oh, I love it. Going for another Ash arrow play.
Gonna get out.
Kong gonna continue it. Let's see. Zelius is going to dash through, and now they've... oh, dodging that Jinxed Rocket. And that's the rest of the team coming to their defense. And so that's the thing, is like the Manorites, it's unfortunate that the Manorites got punished for a good play. Like, they picked the Akali in the bottom lane. It's just wild. You just don't think that the entire team is going to spring into action and take Baron off of that. Well,
and now worse too. You know, they're going to be able to apply that Baron across multiple lanes, and this Dragon is essentially theirs. That puts them on point. And if you're the Manorites, like, you're really going to start to get stratting for options, because you're going to start losing the rest of these plates. Like, you don't have a great answer for Darius right now. Dragon is going over, which means you're forced, no matter what, to fight for the next one, unless you just want to absolutely concede any possibility of that buff. Traded, though, might be in some trouble.
Yeah, indeed. They're going to bring everybody, and Darius is a champion that can get their way out of this, but they have come correct. and they are going to finish him off. That shutdown is going to go to Wukong, and this is why when Real Pike says this is where real Mana Right fans never give up hope, that's why right there. I love it. They're saying it right now.
Absolutely.
The Mana Rights are never out of options. Beautiful.
Well, giving him some hope there as well. I mean, that's the call you have to make, though, is bot lane.
Oh, but under tower. Oh, the Jinx Rocket for the execute right there. They might be losing the Leona, but maybe not. They've only got the Scion and the Amelia. It's not enough damage, and Zelius is going to find his way onto the back line. Very nice. Getting that kill. Going to get knocked up for his trouble, but that's okay because they've got this Baron-empowered wave to take down this second-tier turret.
Yeah, well, that's the hallmark of a good team. Because what I was going to say was, if you're the Mana Rights, that's your opportunity to get back in the game. Start finding some of these picks, overload a lane, pick the Darius, make him a little bit more afraid to be that aggressive in the lane, and force these guys to play a little bit more conservatively. But then even as I was going to say that, Naughty Boys are like, okay, that's fine. Well, we'll make a trade of our own. And that, I think, is the hallmark of a team that has a great mentality and, has a next play up, desire to play. It's like, okay, we've lost something there. What else can we get back? And they're just making the most of their position in the game. They're not resting on their laurels. They want to be active and winning the game, and I think that was a great play there. They got something bought, and now they're back in a dominant position.
Yeah, there's always an upside. You just have to find it, and sometimes you have to make it. And that's absolutely what has been going on here tonight. 3 dragons to 1, right? Soul is going to be on the table relatively soon. I think we've been seeing, we haven't seen that much in the way of pitched combat. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know that we haven't gotten just a pitched battle 5v5 yet, have we?
No, just a 4v4 because someone's been picked off the whole time, and that's kind of what I'm worried about for the Mana Rights right now is the fact, in that 5v5, it's who are you playing through? Because Malfeasance, while great in some instances to burst a couple of targets down, is so immobile that between the Sedge and the Darius and the Akali, and not to mention any lockdown by the Leona, who isn't super fast but has a lot of CC, it's going to make it really hard to play these fights. You don't have a lot of just great sustained damage other than Ashe, but Ashe is sitting at 0-0 and 2, doesn't really have the itemization to cut through anybody yet. So, I mean, if you're TMS, you're really going to have to find some of these picks and hope to leverage an off-number team fight, because in a straight 5v5, I just think they don't win.
Yeah, I mean, the Naughty Boys lockdown is absolutely unreal. And I do think you're right that certainly at this point, the 5v5 is going to be a little challenging. But Horizon, it's going to happen, right? We're at 26 minutes. We've got Soul coming up. And eventually another Baron's going to spawn. And then after that, we've got Elder Baron, Elder Baron, Elder Baron. Yeah. It's just non-stop game-ending objectives that a team is going to group on. So they're going to have to find a solution if they want to flip the script on this game. Sure. Let's say, what do you think is their path to winning one of these fights if it is a 5v5?
They have to try and cut down the damage dealers. That's the most important part. But to do that, they're going to have to overload a side. So you got to catch Darius without any of his escape tools. Maybe you make him blow Ghost and Flash before a big team fight. Even if you don't get him, it's worth it to just cut those tools away. Maybe you find a Akali not being appropriately situated with her team where you can pick her off. But in a straight 5v5, they're just not going to win. So they have to avoid that at all costs until they can really get strong enough into the later game. But if you're looking at their scaling, other than Scion, they just don't have a tremendous number of late game tools. So I think for them, it's just find a pick where you can, try and cut down this bleeding, pick somebody if you can. Speaking of picking someone,
yeah, they're really going to go for it. I love the Scion getting involved here. Vizzy's Flash is going to get burned, but it's Malfeasance that picks up the kill
on the bot side.
Low health. Oh my god, Akali, this is a classic Naughty Boys upside, right? You lose at one point in the map, it doesn't matter. Push, push, push.
It's a split call.
Find a way to make it positive. And Zelius has done that, but putting an enormous amount of damage on this tower. Dear God, Zelius is thinking about going back in to finish off that tower. I just know it. But they are going to listen to the angel on their shoulder, and they're going to back off. Yeah. Although, no, they're not. They're definitely, they started it back, they canceled it. Okay, now they're going to finish the back. Nope, they're not. Damn.
They're trying to threaten multiple objectives, but it's really, really difficult because Syndra's really going to have to push out that wave to keep Akali from threatening that tower and that inhibitor again. And that's not even accounting for the Darius right now. So it's like getting pulled across multiple parts of the map. Like, you're like, you know, Naughty Boy's just threatening Baron, but then also you got two people trying to push for towers. So it's like, who do you pick? What do you go for? And that's like Naughty Boy's trying to overload them with information. And, you know, that 3 minutes that we had earlier for that dragon, well, that's gone now. 3 minutes is absolutely no time at all in a game state like this. And, yeah, TMS, they're really going to have to buckle down and fight for this because if they don't, conceivably, this game has to be over if Naughty Boys get Soul.
Yeah, and Darius probably will have enough time to get here, but look at Zelius's positioning.
It's high.
Forever a split pusher or a flanker, and they've put themselves in a really good position to be able to come around and cause some trouble into the back line. And here we are. We talked about pitch 5v5 combat. All the players are on the stage. A nice pink ward by Naughty Boys. I said all the players, but one is notably missing as Sejuani is doing the dragon on their own, forcing the mana rights to choose between two bad decisions here, which is either do nothing or fight into no vision, and it is going to be
Zelius?
off to the races as Wukong dashes over Zelius, forced to go golden right here, and the rest of them are going to be waiting, but that's going to be Sion getting taken down. A double kill for the Darius, who's popping off. That might be a triple right there. We might be seeing a quadra. We might be seeing the penta, but the rest of the team is going to do everything they can to give it, but Busy. The comms right now, the shit that is being said to Busy right now, I can only imagine as the Naughty Boys. Naughty Boys have an incredible fight, but the penta is stolen. Just beautiful. Just beautiful. And I think that's going to be it, Horizon.
Yeah.
I think Naughty Boys have closed out game one.
Yeah, game one going to go to them. Fantastic call, and the Dragon just passively took it while TMS got forced into a long fight. They ended up losing it. And yeah, game one going to start the series off right for them.
For sure, but Real Pike says it. Real Pike says it. It's all right. We go next. Unbreakable Mental. I love that shit. This is beautiful. Regardless of how this series goes down, I am loving the vibes coming out of the mana rights. I'm looking forward to the rest of their season. But we've got to see what happens in game two. Swithy opening a ticket right now against Vissy for that stolen penta. Yeah, Swithy, just please use an urgent ticket so that the admins can see it right away, and we'll get on banning Vissy immediately.
Yeah, absolutely. I can't believe that you would steal a hard-earned kill for that Darius doing so much work, but hey, them's the breaks sometimes.
Yes, it is. Fantastic. God.
I mean, hard.
What a match!
Yeah, what a match. I mean, hard to sing Naughty Boy's praises like too much of that when you don't want to overharp on it because it is a series, so you know, fully capable for the mana rights to come back, like and even up the series and you know force us to game three. Like it's definitely not out for them. That's part of being a series. But I mean, you lose a game like that where you're kind of getting choked out of the lanes, you're not winning any team fights, and like your draft didn't necessarily live up to what you wanted it to, and you were just kind of outmuscled and kind of outskilled in some instances. Like it does make the second game mentality I think a little bit harder. Of like, okay, how do we approach this game where we don't end up in the same situations? But I mean, credit to them trying to hang on for as long as possible. There were some moments in there where they were able to kind of turn it around. You know, being able to pick the Kali, who was playing very aggressively, being able to pick Darius, you know, making sure that Traded wasn't as free as he wanted to be. But overall, Naughty Dog's like great execution on the composition. So I'm very excited to see what both these teams are going to bring out for game two.
Yeah, totally. I mean, every series is a story, and it's about learning lessons from Chapter 1, bringing it into Chapter 2. So I think there's plenty of space for improvement, and I think that what I am seeing is that this is not a matter of like, this is not about hands, right? This is just about like navigating, responding to the map pressure that Naughty Boys was able to exert in game one. But we're going to get a whole new grip of champions. So who knows what the landscape is going to look like. Lunar Day, again, just continuing to say that I put ketchup on my steak, which, by the way, even if I did, I wouldn't give a shit. I love ketchup. I would 100% put it on steak.
You
if that was
blasphemer.
something.
How dare you touch a steak with ketchup?
Boo to all of you. You can't see it, but I'm flipping off everyone.
Chat,
listen,
downvote this man.
Listen, I don't care. I've seen what you cheer for.
Your boos mean
Yeah,
nothing
dude.
to me. I seen what makes you cheer.
Exactly. Yeah, dog.
Yeah, real
but I
Pike.
don't-
Yeah, get him off the stage. Take his mic away. No more ketchup
I
on steaks.
think good. You'll pry it out of my cold dead hands. I do love ketchup. I don't put it on steak, but I honestly am starting to think that Lunar Day wants me to. I'll eat, just even for the bit. I'll put put ketchup on steak for.
What's your
go ahead.
What's your S tier of condiments?
Great question. Okay, my S tier condiment, the highest condiment for me that will get me to like pick it no matter what off the menu is if I'm traveling anywhere and I'm eating, at a place with just like Americana food and they're like, oh, we make our own barbecue sauce. I don't care what it is. I will be ordering that. I love barbecue sauce and I love people's weird spins on barbecue sauce. So it'd go barbecue sauce for me, then probably ketchup, and then if I want some more tang, any array of mustards. But I'm not a really picky eater. I'll try pretty much everything.
Vinegar or ketchup based barbecue sauce?
I like it a little on the sweeter side, but like I think Sweet Baby Ray's maybe does a little bit too much in that direction.
Lunar pointed out something great, which is that the reason you like barbecue sauce is because most barbecue sauce is a ketchup base, so it's just a different version of ketchup.
This is beautiful. I knew it. Yeah. So I think you're right. I think ketchup is vinegar based.
Well, it depends. It depends on whether or not they add it. Like some add extra vinegar to tomato, then some just do straight tomato plus sugar. So it depends, like on how they do it.
Let's fucking roll the tape back a little bit. Carrot in a Box says they don't use condiments. What do you mean? As a matter of moral principle?
Dry?
Like. Also, now I need to look up the definition of a condiment. A condiment is a seasoning, sauce, or preparation added to food to enhance its flavor, appearance, or complement the dish, typically applied after cooking. Are you telling me?
Everything's a condiment.
With no shadow of a lie, Carrot in a Box, that you don't use condiments? Whoops, we have a problem. Brio has redeemed. Okay. So Horizon has just joined us on the casting team relatively
what is this
recently.
waffle
So
and why am I scared?
yeah, so here's the thing. Remember before, and you were like, do you like the overlay? And then I laughed and I said we're really kind of like the Wild West. The streamers have a lot of autonomy to do whatever. So everybody has their own little bits. Boa's bit is that he has a waffle cam and he makes waffles on demand during streams.
That is amazing.
All right, now Brijo's made a point. One of us needs to make a waffle, and I'm all out of eggs, Horizon. So I need you to get in the kitchen and start cooking.
I don't have waffles, but I can
now.
make a hamburger right now.
Okay.
I can go make a hamburger.
AKA a meat waffle.
A meat waffle. If you think about it, it's a meat waffle. I want to get back to the second. We're not going to forget the meat waffle because that's also like not only is that funny phrase, it's also just hard to forget. I want to go back to this condiment thing. Who is it that is just raw dogging food with like no sauce, like no condiments? Like, what do you mean?
Salt.
Are you
salt
okay?
is a condiment. Wars were fought over salt.
It's true. I don't know that I would call salt a condiment, but here's why. Because I feel like salt and pepper is the like base expectation to flavor things. So like. It shouldn't be an optional condiment. It should just be understood that, like, yeah, this thing has salt and pepper on it. And, like, if you're not putting it on there, get help, I guess, please.
Okay, they have moved to another lobby.
Why would they do this?
I will invite you.
I specifically requested they never do this.
I know. But then they all got together and they were like, we just gotta. So I'm sorry about that, and I'll talk to them about that. But
they did this to me specifically. I can't.
They did. It was personal.
Can't
it was personal
have
it is
anything
personal.
nice.
Condiments are for peasants. I use sauce. Scoots! I think sauce is a condiment. What are you talking about?
Or is he just like categorizing sauces as not condiments? The mentality in this stream is absolutely crazy. What do you mean condiments are for peasants? I like condiments. Does that make me a turbo peasant if I just like lots of condiments?
Hey, as long as you're in the fields.
I'm a condiment man.
Sauce is 100% a condiment. I agree. Oh, yeah, bro. We don't know how to make the... We kind of don't turn off. I think there's plenty of things that you can spend channel points on that I don't even know where to look at. Manage reward requests. There's Bearfax, takes two to tango, caster compliment, hunk alert, this means war, it's pronounced like, and then the waffle request. Okay, so we have removed some of the older ones that were... Oh, I can mark some of these as complete. Okay, great. Yeah, because we... I don't think I've ever opened up this menu before.
It's funny, like when you've run a channel for a while or you've been a moderator on one, and then you just see like years of just neglect or just adding things without like any sort of management. You're like, you forget half the things. It's like, when did we put this in? What is this?
Yeah. Yeah, Zelius has a great point. Please address all concerns to F. Dingus. And hey, feel free to just blow up his DMs. It's spelled exactly as Zelius spelled it right there.
Can I tell you about one of the funniest channel redeems I've ever seen?
Please.
There was a guy who I used to watch for a while and eventually became a moderator, and I don't know what possessed him to do this, but he had a button. He had a redeem that if you redeemed enough channel points, and it was obscene, it was like 100,000 points or whatever, but if you redeemed like 100,000 or more points, he would take a Magic the Gathering card at random and shred it.
Oh, God.
Yeah, he had a camera. It was just, there was a paper shredder on his desk, a little mini one. He would just stick the card in there. The craziest thing I've ever seen for a channel redeem.
That's wild. That's really wild. I'm hoping he sort of knew what pile he was grabbing from.
Yeah. Speaking of getting shredded, both these teams absolutely shredding their way through this draft. As Mannerite's going to pick up Renekton.
Nice.
Bit of, I guess, maybe a adjustment, trying to not go the full tank bruiser route in that top side and trying to get a little bit more agency. I definitely like it. Renekton, just kind of that staple top lane, gives you a lot of damage, gives you a lot of utility. Just a great overall pick, I think.
Yeah, I mean, to me that says, listen, you played Darius last time. I want to do to you what you did to me. And first picking it too, I think is really bold. And it does. I wonder how long they're going to hold that counter pick for on the top side. They grabbed Varus. I bet they're thinking about it now. Now, I don't know that this is what's happening, but also it'd be pretty interesting to try and bait out a what am I really talking about? I'm suggesting that maybe you could bait out a top lane pick right there. All right, there we go. We got the Kled. That's cool. I haven't seen Kled in a minute. Are people playing Kled right now?
I don't know that he's got any adjustments, but I noticed that like I am seeing it more in solo queue. I don't know, maybe it's just the like onus on having mobility and like great damage. I will say Kled's very annoying for a lot of top laners to deal with, and like one of his worst matches, funnily enough, Darius, is kind of gone. So no danger there in terms of having to worry about that in a fearless draft. The one thing I was interested is whether or not they would actually lock a top laner in, because if you do leave it for the second round of picks, like you have more bans to pick it out. I would have liked to see the Manorites maybe leave Renekton until later and give it some more protection through picks, but I mean, they're already starting to draft some follow-up with it. Veigar Jarvan gives them a lot of wombo combos, so not the worst choice in the world.
No, I love these two picks for them. I love the Jarvan for obviously all of the reasons that anybody loves Jarvan, right? Great pick potential, great at team fighting as well, can pull off some mean flanks. And I love this Veigar because as long as you've got one of these infinitely scaling champions on your team, we've got the late game, baby. Just keep playing. If we play for 90 minutes, you'll be the strongest champion that's ever hit the Rift. So there's always hope when you've got a Veigar on your team.
I love this Poppy pick as we're like getting around to this draft. It does counter automatically to those champions, Renekton, Slice and Dice, Jarvan, Flag and Drag. So like if you're trying to get on the end of this backline, as long as that Poppy is standing within like 5 cubic meters of Varus, you have like no chance of getting on top of him without having to recommit more. So I think great draft adaptation. Interested to see. I mean, it's probably gonna go support. I can't imagine they would flex that anywhere. I don't think it would make a tremendous amount of sense to put it like jungle or top.
We saw it top lane last night, so who knows? Right? This is also the thing is that none of us are pros, so it's really like, where are you good at the thing?
That's not true. I'm a pro. I'm a procrastinator.
That is so true. People have been saying that about you. No, I can't believe that. Also, complete bullshit. Horizon has showed up today with everything completely ready right away. That doesn't strike me too hard as a procrastinator.
See, people think that's like a virtue, and it's just I'm addicted to League of Legends. This is a cry for help. Is really what it is.
Oh no, you're in the wrong place.
I don't want help,
dude. You are in the wrong place. But yeah, no, I think you're right about Poppy here, and that is.
Wait, so is that Kled jungle maybe and Poppy top?
Wow.
That would be crazy. I mean, those are interchangeable. Like Kled top, Poppy jungle, or Poppy top, Kled jungle. Like those are. I mean, those are equally flexible.
Hear me out.
I'm hearing.
Maybe Kled mid.
I wish I was deaf.
Oh, that's probably a bad idea. Maybe it's a Varus mid.
I mean, if it was, I mean, let's just entertain this for a second. I can't believe I'm saying this, but like, if it was Kled mid and a Vigar, like. It's kind of like a terrible matchup, but then I guess when he gets knocked off Skarner, he doesn't have to worry about Cage, but also like, how do you time that?
I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm just seeing a Poppy and a Rel on the same screen, and I know the Rel's going support.
Show me Nautilus here. Show me Nautilus with this misfortune.
I'd love that. I think that's a great lock-in if they do grab Nautilus.
Yeah, it would give them a lot of CC. No, Alistar. Yeah, it makes sense. Although, I don't know about that because they've already shown the Poppy. Alley is another dash. It's hard. The dash mechanic is not like the most important part of this draft, but if you're talking about diving somebody, because this is a full dive comp. This is a Jarvan cages somebody, Renekton over the top, plus bullet time, plus Alistar, plus I mean, this is like
Stylus mid.
Yeah, so it's got to be Kled jungle. It's got to be Kled jungle, right?
Yeah, I have seen Poppy jungle too. Who the fuck knows? How will you guys know? You'll know by sticking around and waiting to see this second game of this best of 3 get played. And I am going to start the prediction now that we have seen the whole draft. Y'all are going to have 5 minutes. Listen, maybe you just won a bunch of channel points off of that bet. Maybe you just lost everything and you just earned a paltry 5 channel points.
It's time to double down.
You can double down. Horizon is right. Listen, if you're watching the stream last night, you know that Vega's advice is to wait till the last second and bet the under. Always. And maybe that's what'll get you the win tonight. Who can say?
You can't lose twice.
Carrot in a box lost everything.
It's not possible to lose everything twice in a row on the stream. Nobody has lost everything twice in a row except me.
Not here, not in the low budget LCS.
Not in the low budget LCS. You know why? Because I didn't bet the second game. I took what I had and I left.
Exactly. Also, Lunar Day, you're just trying to stir shit up, aren't you?
Silas can jungle? Yeah, if nobody else is in the game.
We'll have to see. Who can say? I do think that it's Silas mid.
Yeah, I think it's Silas mid. I think it's going to be Kled jungle, Poppy top. And I think I had to say, like, again, I think, like, Naughty Boys have a really, really good draft. I think, like, their adaptations were fantastic. I think it makes a tremendous amount of sense, like, how they put it together. My only concern, obviously, is, like, trying to get their damage up to date. But, I mean, Silas has a tremendous number of ults to steal. Like, just take your pick. There's no bad ulti with the exception of, like, maybe Alistar ulti. Kled's damage is not too bad. Varus scales well in the late game, although they did nerf lethality Varus. It is important, so you kind of have to change that build up a little bit. And then also, like, Mana Rights, again, very good draft. Like, you can see where they're going with it. My concern is it is all predicated on this setup, the dive. And if Poppy has even, like, a decent lane and stays strong and, like, isn't worried about, like, doing too much damage, but rather just, like, playing bodyguard, it could be really, really difficult for the Mana Rights to execute this comp, so...
Yeah, Poppy positioning is something we're going to keep our eye on throughout the entire course of this game. And yeah, it only got more effective with that Alistar pick. So, but Poppy can't be everywhere at once. So you've only got one Poppy. You got to use it right. But certainly, if it's in the hand of Traded, we're gonna find out in like about 2 seconds. Yeah. But Traded was very annoying on that Darius. I believe that they would be equally as annoying on Poppy.
Well, something I want to highlight from the last game, too, is Traded had a really good understanding of what he needed to do in that game as far as knowing where to apply the pressure with his Darius.
It's the Kled top.
Kled top. Okay, Poppy jungle. Alrighty. That was not the angle I was expecting. I would have fully expected Kled to be in the jungle, but, also kind of makes sense. Poppy's clear, not the greatest, so she will be a little bit delayed over the Jarvan. But, assuming she doesn't fall too far behind, like, decent adaptation.
Yeah. Absolutely. I think that they probably talked about, I wouldn't put it past them to talk about, do we switch the Poppy top, right? I think Poppy's could be pretty solid into Renekton, right? Shutting off that slice and dice. But what Traded got really far ahead. It's week 1, so I'm not familiar with everybody's game plans and strategies, but if I was going to extrapolate way too many lessons out of first match that we saw, I'd say that allowing Traded to kind of go off, give them the potential to become a carry or at least a huge force up in the top lane. They wanted to make sure that they had something in their hand that could do that, and Kled is definitely a champion that can do that.
Yeah, I'm interested to see how this matchup top lane is going to go, because the point I was making earlier about Traded understanding the role, and Renekton, this gets a little bit more difficult because Renekton has the same kind of trading power, and obviously Skarner makes things a little bit difficult in terms of trying to consistently land combos because he can get dismounted and then remounted. But if he shows the same agency that he had in the last game, it should just be another great performance. Again, it's all going to come down to, I think, what else everyone else is doing across the map, because the Manorites did a fantastic job in putting together a really good composition, and as long as they're accounting for the Poppy, there's plenty of opportunities for them to make plays on the Kled and to win team fights, because that is a wombo combo stack if ever I've seen one.
Yeah, truly. It's pretty massive and terrifying, and they have they've got a really clean plan in front of them. That is for sure. Which is great also because there's not really going to be any question as to what anybody's role is or like what the Manorites are trying to pull off. So we'll make comms a little bit clearer and concise in the middle of these chaotic fights.
So I just want to point out that you said for this game to bet the under. Well, can you believe who's the under in this game? Oh, never mind. That updated. It showed that it was, for a second, it showed that it was the. I need to point this out because I was going to make a point that like the Manor or that the Naughty Boys were the under, but then like it just, for whatever reason, that UI just updated, and so the Manorites are also the under. So never mind. Continue betting on the Manorites if you want the under, and maybe you'll win all of your points back.
Yeah, that's only one. Oh, that is
happening now. Which one's happening now? What?
I think I'm looking at the same thing that you're looking at.
This is weird. There's still two that are what? Okay.
No, the Manorites are the over right now.
Oh.
Yeah, 2.2 thousand have been bet on the Manorites, and only 200 have been bet on the Naughty Boys.
Interesting. I guess I'm not seeing the updated poll. Okay, I guess my thing is wigging out, but that's fine.
But speaking of not very good transitions, before we get into this game, just want to say thank you to Break My Sydneys for being the newest investor in the low-budget LCS. We appreciate your follow and you joining us here tonight. For whatever reason, thank you.
Break My Sydneys. That's a very fun play on what that phrase might otherwise mean. So, Lunar, don't point out my losing my focus. All right, my mind is clear. What's that, shiny? Okay, I'm sorry. What? Don't point out. Leave me alone, Lunar. No.
Absolutely crushed it.
Lunar,
we don't bully here.
I'm a sophisticated gentleman and a saint.
Exactly. All right. We did it for game 1. Let's do it for game 2. But you're going to answer first this time. Where's first blood?
Oh, God. There's a lot of ways I could go with this because, like, all these kills are fun, potentially the way they could happen. I'm going to say top lane because that's kind of where it happened again. I feel like these two top laners, like, they just want to hit each other and they want to kill each other. I'm going to go, probably more controversial, I'm going to go the opposite way, and I'm going to say it's Renekton kind of halfway through the lane, just off a bad trade. Kled just gets dismounted but can't get away, and then Renekton just kind of slices and dices his way to an early first blood.
Okay, I like that. I think first blood is going to come in the bot lane. We saw a really aggressive first 3 levels. I think...
Who has Prio in that lane?
I was just thinking that. I don't really know. It's kind of funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like kind of similar setup. Both supports have to like dash in to be effective. Alistar has to go a little bit further than Rel does. I think that that Alistar is gonna be first blood, and I think is gonna dive a little bit too far. Critical error has occurred. Uh-oh, another critical error has occurred.
Well, that's okay. Because you know who made it in the game? This guy.
That's good. Oh,
So, when exactly you planning on getting the hell out of here?
worried about.
Was it the League client just crashed, or?
It was the League client that crashed. But that's
Interesting.
okay.
That's okay.
Yeah, you got in, and that's key.
Minions have spawned.
But here we are, game 2 of this incredible best of 3 series, Naughty Boys versus the Manorites in the Executive League. We're not seeing as aggressive of a bot lane, and I think that's great because the reason that happened game 1 is because they were on Ashe and they had that range. They don't have it now. They're being smart. I love that.
Yeah, I think Varus, the overall sustaining this lane, I think will be okay as long as he doesn't get too aggressive with skill trading. And for me, that's what's going to come down to, because the ADCs, I think even in highly competitive leagues, even in pro play, like they have a habit of burning through a lot of mana really quickly. Then that makes trades kind of awkward, and then that's where really supports get quite a bit of work done. So I think as long as like VC doesn't take too many Qs, I think as long as they're kind of on top of where they're positioning, I think it'll be okay. But I mean, the supports really, I think, is where it's going to be at, because like you highlighted earlier, Alistar has to travel a little bit farther to commit for some of those plays, even though he does have knockup. Speaking of knockup,
Beautiful. Zelia showing us that the spirit of Akali still lives on. And Malfeasance keeping their cool, just getting some hits on. There it is. Level 2 goes in. Pretty nice. We're trying to see a little response here from Rel, but it doesn't connect. I love it. These players are still very active. You can tell that everyone is really locked in.
yeah, and no trade back on health either for the side of Naughty Boy, so they're just going to have to kind of eat that. Pot's already gone for VC, so he won't be sustaining too much more in that lane, so they're really going to have to play conservative. And that's the second time in a row where we've seen the Manorites just get really aggressive in that lane and get that early trading pattern going on. I think last game they didn't have the opportunity to make the most of it with the ganks. Like, there wasn't just enough pressure to make the use of that. That opportunity that they created, but I think with this one, as long as they're causing, like, they might do it.
Yeah, this is going to be really close. He's got the other end of the slice and dice. He's walked a little bit too far. A flash for a flash. Oh, but he's got the gun. It's not enough
But my
damage.
prediction.
This is so close. Kled has not remounted yet, and they are going to back off.
I will never
Still
understand
a
why he
chance.
didn't finish that kill. I thought for sure he had it, was going to be able to finish it off. I was like, surely I have become the master of prediction, but no, traded is going to prevent me from being able to be the voodoo cast wizard that I am. And so instead, we'll just go back to boring lane state.
No, totally. I'm also surprised. I thought that, and I don't even think that was like, I don't think there was any element of that was a misplay. I seriously thought the second half of Slice and Dice was just going to kill him.
Yeah, I did too.
But it didn't, and I think they were both surprised to be alive, because it was like the flash. Yeah, he still wants it. And he's, Renekton is using his rage bar really well, or whatever it's called. I forget whatever his individual mechanic is. But he's just at that very threatening place of having one ability. And he's saying, come on, I can only use one empowered ability against you.
Zelius.
Dude, this is Zelius is doing a great job. I've got to give Malfeasance a shout out. Malfeasance has been a house in this league for quite some time, and I've seen them do some truly disgusting things. And they're very at home on these casters. The onus here is going to be on Naughty Boys to shut down this Vigar, because if you just let him alone, it's going to be trouble. Malfeasance doing great. He's just up close and personal. He's getting those stacks, getting those autos in. He's saying, Zelius, you've got to do something. And it's nice. He's saving his W for when Zelius dives in on him. He's got the autos. One more Q. The Q is up, but not able to get it off in time. Those minions are going to body block it. Malfeasance is playing this right.
And no teleport for him either, so he's just going to have to be stuck in that lane for a minute. Ping's coming down. Jungle wants to kind of get involved in this. Poppy still waiting in the wings. They want to counteract this. Malfeasance does have flash. He's going to get the cage. Kangaroo can look to turn this.
That's beautiful. A magnificent flag and drag, forcing the flash. Oh!
He clicked the minion. He clicked the minion. He wanted to hit the Poppy and flash forward and clicked the minion.
Yeah, I don't know if he had the range right there, but if he had been able to, that auto had been able to follow. That would have been incredible. That's magnificent right there. I love that these teams are once again putting this priority here in the mid lane, both junglers showing up at the exact same time.
How do we not have first blood? I don't understand this. Multiple people should have died already, and like they just managed to walk away after blowing stuff. And Malfeasance, by the way, I have to point this out because I'm actually really impressed with this. You talked about him being a staple in the league. Like, that's the kind of veterancy that only comes in not blowing that flash, knowing that you're safe, and not overcommitting for that. Oh, traded.
Yes, indeed. Going in right here. He's still on Skarl, and he's going to get that first blood.
All right, so first blood in the top lane, not the person I thought it was going to be. That looked, as I think everyone has experienced, really deceptive because it looked like Traded was going to go down there, but that Skarner remount always catches you off guard.
Yeah, it's the nasty thing about Kled. But he's got teleport. He's going to make his way back up there. A lot of teleports in the game, which is great.
Yes. Is there anybody that has anything that isn't like defensive? No, it's all defensive. There's no ignites. Boo! Come on. Somebody got to take. Somebody's got to take him. Oh, well, Rel has ignite.
Rel's got ignite. You know, that's
just
something. That's
just
something.
For once, I'd like an ADC to take ignite. You know what I mean? Just once.
I mean, listen. God help the ADC that does that. And then if you die once, everyone's like, if you had Barry, you'd live. Nice dragon pickup from the Naughty Boys. Not like very action-packed, but that's just a testament to the timing in which they took it.
Yeah, Mountain Soul I think is not like anybody's top tier of Dragon in terms of how like people appreciate it, but it is nice to just have that passive defensive statting and know that you have a little bit more survivability, especially against things like attack damage that typically tends to shred a little bit more efficiently than Magic in the late game. I mean, it's never bad to have what is essentially just a free Mountain Dragon, and they've got a kill, so early game going their way.
Totally. Okay, now that sixes have been hit right here, yeah, this is where things are going to get a little more complicated. Malfeasance can't do exactly what they did before because they both have an execute. I have to sneeze.
Bless you in advance. And speaking of that, Malfeasance gonna put down the cage. Zelius wants to try and get something going, trying to stack the Qs. Not an ult reach, throws it out anyways, doesn't get the kill. Now Kangaroo's here. Flash out from Zelius. Kangaroo wants to try and get something, but they're just gonna walk away.
Whoops, didn't unmute my mic. Yes, they are, absolutely, and a fantastic pickup on the play-by-play for the sneeze. I really appreciate that.
It's tied, dude. He's looking. They want this. Flash forward. Oh! You love to see it.
The fadeaway three-pointer from the Vigar. You just love it. You just love it. That's one of the fun parts about that champ.
There are two control
just watch the ult travel.
I mean, fantastic play. And I think Zelius was really not expecting that because he probably felt safe that its tie was right there. Like, oh, I'm safe to position here. Like, Alistar wasn't even needed, and Malfeasance is like, no, I got this one, and just hands it. It's kind of like that Michael Jordan moment. It's like, who's gonna take the shot? Well, it's not gonna be any of the defenders. It's gonna be Michael Jordan. He's gonna throw that three. So I respect to him.
Yeah, for sure. And that kill's going to go a long way because he's down 20 CS. Zelius has done a great job of zoning him out of all that gold in the mid lane. So it will be helpful to catch back up a little bit and close that gap.
Yeah. So I think the question now, next moves for both teams, like you're kind of at a fairly even game state. You know, the TMS has a negligible lead. It's just a couple hundred gold that's mostly just due to like CS difference plus, you know, what happens to be kills. So really nothing to write back home there. The question is like the next step for both of them. Where do they want to play on this map objective-wise?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think like, oof, slice and dice, not bringing them far enough. You know, game one, Naughty Boys kind of ran away with these neutral objectives, right? They ended up with 3 dragons. They got a good amount of those. I can't remember how many of the little rifty boys they got.
I don't think anybody got them in the first game. I think it went untaken.
Oh, whoa, look at that. Beautiful. Okay, that's the flag and drag. Traded flashes over the wall right there. They are going to be able to get it out, but another gank going off the exact same time. I love this. The cage. Zelly is finding the dead spot right there to avoid the bullet time, and he's going to steal it right back. We've got Alistar in the mix, though.
Yeah,
and Poppy and Rel are rotating up as well.
That was a huge commitment to not get anything out of those. You spent some big ultimates to try and get them. I mean, traded, doing really, really well to get out of that. Had to burn his flash, but ultimately he's going to have teleport if he wants to come back to the lane after getting healthy. Zelius just straight up said, oh, that's cool. Peace, bro. I'm just going to stand on this one side of the cage that you didn't aim at. And Vigar on CDs really couldn't do anything about it. He's like, well, I've used all my abilities, so I'm out of this one. So, I mean, ultimately, yeah, like some summoners blown, but a bigger investment, I think, for the mana rights to try and get kills than coming away with nothing.
Totally, although I will say this, I think that was the exact moment to try and make a play like that and use those ultimates because Dragon was at 90 seconds at that point. So I do think that all the ults will be back up for this next team fight. But if they had waited 10 seconds, it would have been iffy.
Question is whether or not Supernon or Traded are going to come down here for this next fight. I think if you can, you want to try and get the top laners involved with this one if you can avoid losing too much plates. The thing is, though, is if one leaves, the other's going to be happy to stay and, you know, get turret plates and pick up some extra gold, assuming that neither of them commit a teleport to go down there. So if they don't, then really the way this 4v4 is going to go is really probably going to show us how the rest of this game will go. Right now, I think if I had to pick on the 4v4, assuming that top laners aren't getting involved, I'm happy with the mana rights, just with the way that their composition's playing right now and how aggressive they're being. I think they have the best setup, but, you know, it all comes down to execution, and obviously Naughty Boys, you know, they can make something happen at the drop of a dime.
Yeah, I agree. I think the mana rights have this great wombo that we've talked about, but a key piece of disruption just wandered on stage, which is Poppy, right? That ult can just remove any one of these people, and Misfortune famously has to stand still while casting bullet time. So,
yes.
Oh, and look at this. Walking up and around, really just helping relieve pressure. Malfeasant's doing a great job playing against an assassin in the mid lane.
We're going to let this go.
Raiding all that health. And yeah, I think they've just got the strength to take this.
Yeah, I think Naughty Boys right now, they don't feel like they can really take a good fight. I think the Poppy roam kind of through mid. I mean, there's two ways of thinking about that, which is like, okay, you just roamed through mid and took a bunch of damage that you didn't need to. And then the other school of thought is, this isn't a real gank. This is more like what we call a pressure gank, which is I'm not actually going to do anything, but I'm just going to threaten that I'm here. So that way, like, I can check your impotence in terms of what you want to do and, you know, making an aggressive play on my mid laner. But the result of that is, like, obviously traveling through the mid lane, you gave up positioning on that dragon. And so, you know, the mana rights, they're feeling like really good to take that. So it's a 1-on-1 in drag. So that means neither team is stacking. And again, I think the game just kind of staying dead even.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, I don't think it was too much of a problem for Poppy to take that path. And I think that's one of the strengths of the Naughty Boys is that they are willing to, like, walk up to the fork in the road, you know, without committing too much in either direction and then make a decision from there. That's what they did. They peeled off, and the mana rights are more than happy to take that dragon and just keep this status quo, right? Vigar wants to keep farming. That's it. Give me that CS. Stack that AP. Let me be very, very relevant in the late game.
This is some really aggressive positioning. Oh, we're on top of Malfeasance.
Yes, they are. They're pulling it off, but Jarvan is going to wrap back around. A very nice flag and drag. Get some damage down. And actually, it's not looking too bad for the Vigar right now, as more combatants are going to wander into the arena. Kled is a bit of a problem. I don't know how you're going to handle Fled in a kerfuffle like that.
Well?
Wow, Rel's taking quite a bit of damage here. I think they've spent too much time around. Varus is going to drop the ultimate, but they've walked up too far, and they're just trying to sacrifice everything to get this misfortune. They're not able to get it. That's a double kill for the Manorites.
Yeah, Naughty Boys living up to their name right now. That was a borderline criminal play to try and think that they were going to be able to walk through the tri-bush. Rel staying way, way too long in that brush with absolutely no help. Flash forward.
Yeah, they're looking for something on the other side of the map here as they trade ultimates. Malfeasance is going to flash, but Poppy's just trying to chase them down, and they do. Getting a shutdown in the mid lane on the Poppy, or for the Poppy.
I mean, that's what we call a little bit of a cosmetic comeback. I mean, that doesn't negate the fact that you still lost 2 people on that bot side. Yes, Varus still, VC has flash on that Varus, but it's really not worth, and it was a play that didn't need to happen. Once VC saw that Rel was, behind that, half health and was staying in that brush, Zelius!
Yes, indeed. The fight continues. That's the flash. That's the slam into the wall right there. And Rel is in the neighborhood as well. So they have the damage. They don't. A little bit too far. Misfortune's going to get another kill. Feeling right as rain here as the power keeps on crawling into the wall of that Misfortune. And she is going to wave it all over this rift. I cannot believe Misfortune just a minute ago had no kills. And now they have 3.
Smarton with 79% kill participation, but hard to say that he really has had to work very hard for it. All those fights have been coming to him. But as a Misfortune, you've already got your collector, got your boots completed, so you're feeling really, really good with this game state. So we talked about that wombo combo, that team fighting that TMS have built. That's going to be really easy for them to execute. Fighting the mid lane, though.
Yeah, and a lot of damage down onto that Rel. There's Misfortune packing a punch. Not even sure she's been able to buy yet. Just pretty strong, and Traded going to find themselves in a 2v1. Jarvan just doing Jarvan things right there. That's fantastic. Gets a kill for the Renekton.
Yeah, this team fighting that Naughty Boys wants to try and get together. Rel, flash over the wall.
Yeah, this is a big fight right here. I'm not sure that Varus ult connected, though. They're just going to be able to walk away.
Naughty Boys, they're trying to do anything they can to find something across the map. They're trying to get aggressive. They're looking for fights, but they don't have the ability to execute anything right now. And TMS right now, they're doing a really, really good job at spreading the pressure across the map. They're finding successful plays everywhere they want to go. Bot lane, mid lane, top lane. Just across the map. They're winning. 2K gold lead. They're in a really good spot right now.
Yeah, this has been a strong 3 minutes for the Manorites, and they want to keep it going. And they've got champs that can do that, right? They've got that dive and that pick potential. We've got to see how a pitch battle 5v5 plays out, but so far things are looking good.
There's 2 opportunities here. Herald is up, Dragon's up. If you're a TMS, I think you really start to look to take a fight here. You have a great opportunity. You're really strong. Zelius, though, wants to get early.
Yeah, absolutely. Over the wall. This is classic aggression from the Naughty Boys, and Rel is going to be dumped into an unfortunate place as it looks like the supports are going to get traded right here. The fight continues. Malfeasance is here, traded in a little bit of trouble right here. He's got, I think that was his ult that he just used, and they are going to back out. They draw a teleport, right? Renekton's super happy to get
they're waiting
into the scrum here, but oh yeah, look at that. They love this pink ward. They had that brush pink warded the entire last game. They've done a great job of controlling it. Ty just waiting as this Poppy. Yeah, looking for an angle. Not able to connect on anything just yet. Zelius still has that Alistar ult. Feeling tanky, feeling confident. I think they need a little bit of damage, but they're going to go for it. Now it's kind of a 3v5 right here as everything's going to go in on Zelius. Zelius will use that Alistar ult. Going to let him live for a little bit longer, and Vissy's in the back line doing what he can right there. They are going to get, yes, Malfeasance has died right there. This is a massive slice and dies, such low health bar. And look at the bullet time! Massively placed right there, but that's going to be a double kill for Vissy, and this fight is not done. No mana left on this Varus. Whoa, autos slamming down from this Misfortune. This is where all the gold is, right?
Oh, surely not.
On the Manorites. It is in the Misfortune's pocket, and she wants some more. Looks like the fight will dissipate.
It's Ty, huge ultimate to knock Snarkton out of that fight, Zelius.
It's not done, baby. How can it be done when Zelius is still on the map? He wants to dash in. He wants to dive. He's going to find targets, but I think what he really wants is that Misfortune.
Yeah. It's Ty put the hammer down to make sure that Misfortune didn't have any firing time on any of the squishier members of Naughty Boys. And I think great call to kind of do it too. Smarkton. Well?
Yeah, they're going to go for something right here, but Malfeasance has a lot of damage.
VC kind of just not doing a whole lot there. I mean, could have stepped forward to do a little bit more damage, at least, you know, particularly look at the kill for Snarkton. So the fact that he went to the minion wave, a little bit questionable there, but...
I think the cage zoned him out a little bit there. I'm not sure if I'm remembering that 100% correct. Sure. Oh, we've got in the top lane a 2v1. Traded. Being patient with the cooldowns. Teleport coming up. He's called for help. He's got to get back onto his steed. Does a great job of dodging that flag and drag, buying time. There's Zelius dropping the Cataclysm on top of it. Another member shows up, traded, still alive, has not been able to get back onto Skarl, and they get the kill. Kled goes down, and Zelius goes back in under the tower. I do think he gets one in return.
Yeah, they're going to trade too, so one member will die. Supernaut's going to die there. They're also going to pick up the dragon and get the mid tower, so a little bit expensive for both sides. Yes, it's 2 kills going over and some additional plates, but I think pressure-wise, you're going to be fine to get this mid tower if you're Naughty Boys. Still, though, massive fight, and I mean, respect's due. Zelius and traded lived for a really long time there and stalled that out and made that play possible.
Yes. Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. Just like every objective on the map just got taken, like all at the same time, all off of a fight. I mean, I'm getting completely fooled. These players are doing an incredible job. I'm focused on what's happening in front of us. I glance away and boom, like you said, the dragon's gone. Mid turret's got pressure on it. Rift Herald's being taken. These teams just won't stop. And Horizon, yes, it's 10-7, but look at that gold. It's pretty much even though I feel like there's a lot of strength on the side of the Manorites. Yeah. This incredibly aggressive play out of Naughty Boys has been producing gold somewhere.
Absolutely. Well, and I think most important too to highlight is, you know, that bot tower is still there for Naughty Boys. Presumably, you're going to try and see TMS to make a play down there, use that Herald, knock that tower down. But as long as it's up, Naughty Boys have a bastion of strength where they can play around Dragon, potentially retreat to the tower. But Supernaut, he's going to wish that he was retreating.
Yeah, and he's got to make his way back to some sort of safe territory, but that tower is gone. It is a little bit too far. We're just going to get a very nice pick. Malfeasance against Kled right here. This is going to be tough. No tower to get back to.
He's got help.
He's got the cage, and he's got a friend. Absolutely. He's got to be careful with his execute here, right? Not worth using it. Well, he's still on Skarl. Now he's down. Now it's the time to use it. He wants to get one more Q. Does he have the ult?
Oh.
All right. No, he doesn't. It doesn't feel like he needs to use it. And that's going to be Alistar getting picked up.
Yep.
Totally missed the beginning of that fight.
Well, I saw them grouping mid lane, but I didn't think that they were going to be. I didn't think that TMS was going to position so aggressively to lose somebody. So it ends up being a 1-for-1 and kind of coming out as a wash. And again, this gold is just dead even. These teams making plays across the map. It seems like one person has an advantage, then someone else makes a play, and suddenly no one's winning again.
Yeah, these teams are quick with that clap back. But Baron is on the menu. It's certainly a possibility. We've got a lot of sharks in the water up here on the top side of the map.
I'm smelling a big
doing
old
a little
team
bit
fight.
of prep work.
I'm smelling a big old fat team fight of that Baron.
I think you're right.
The 5v5 that we haven't really been able to get this whole time, I think, is imminent. Other than, well, I guess we got that one 5v5 towards the dragon earlier, but of course, not really 5v5 when Smarkton just got instant ejected from the fight. So interested to see whether or not Poppy will be able to make the same thing happen in his potential Baron fight. But yeah, both these teams, like they know what they need to do. Their target selection is great. They're trying to be proactive around the map. It's just coming down to these individual execution moments.
Yeah, man, I don't know what this 5v5 is going to look like. It's so hard to tell exactly, and it's going to be whether or not it starts with a pick, because we've seen quite a lot of picks for both sides this game. And whether or not Baron is going to be what starts this off, or if both teams kind of stall each other out to this next dragon.
Yeah. Yeah, if you're Naughty Boys, like you're actually, I think, okay with trading a Baron for a potential dragon. If you have to make that trade, I think you get that dragon point. And I think that right now, the Manorites, they can't really do too much with that Baron. Their siege is not super long range. You know, Misfortune is not a long range ADC. Vigar is a very short range mage. So they have to step really close to the towers, which plays exactly into what Naughty Boys wants to do. So I think in this instance, I think actually if you're TMS, you really want Naughty Boys to get caught doing the Baron and then kill them for it. Like if you can position marked him well. He's 5-0-1. He hasn't completed Infinity Edge. His LDR is done. Collector. Like, you set that up right. He collects 5 kills. You go to the Baron, and then you knock down towers.
Yeah. Yeah, couldn't agree more. We've delayed the time enough that we're inside a minute for this dragon coming up. We see ward placement down there as well. I really think both teams are in a position to respond to either major objective.
It's very shallow vision, though. I think that's really important to point out. So no one really has any good vision on any kind of potential flaking. I would actually even say that Naughty Boys, their visioning is a tad bit more aggressive simply because they've cleared out TMSs. But, I mean, get no wards that are getting information. So the team's kind of playing blind on this one.
Yes, they are, and once again, they're just holding this bush. They've done a great job of having pinks in here. This might be getting the fight. That's a massive bullet time. That's a massive cage right there. Well done, but it doesn't bring anybody down. That's a cataclysm. Busy's paired off. ADCs fighting each other. There's the barrier, but Poppy doing everything they can. They're still going to go down. Zelius with the follow-up. People are falling left and right so far. Just 2-1. Pled's here full health. But so is Renekton. They're trying to wait for this Renekton ult to time out. Rel gets a little bit of health back up, waiting over the wall. Ward into the bush, so they've kind of shown their hand.
TPs.
Everyone's pretty healthy on the side of Naughty Boys. This 3v3, but they're just waiting for Alistar to show up. They've got front line, and now it's here, and now they're looking for an angle. Oh, he misses the flag and drag. Kangaroo not able to pick Zelius, and that, I think, changes the narrative of what's possible. They're very careful about approaching these bushes. They are going to start the dragon. They could get this dragon up, but everybody is so clumped down there. Malfeasance turns very nice cage. It's onto the Kled. The Kled gets dismounted. Zelius diving in deep. Can he get a kill? That's going to be Rel going down. Zelius follows shortly after. Sarbel's still alive. Gets the ult off right there. Now people who were dead have now respawned, and they're coming back. A flash over the wall. No way Alistar gets out. No freaking
Don't want to
way.
kill this jungler.
Oh, the Ocean Drake. The Ocean Drake is a traitor. No.
Oh, no.
Alistar, that was
The lizard.
Oh, my God. But this fight is not done yet, folks. We've still got Jarvan and Miss Fortune.
Steal it.
They are together. The flag and drag. They try to go in for the steal. Jarvan still got the Cataclysm up, but he's just going to get slammed into the wall and taken out. And now it's just the naked Misfortune. No front line to protect them. And the Naughty Boys somehow, with all of their aggression, push their way through, get the dragon, and get the win.
That was a really, really long team fight in that sort of Ocean Drake area. And at first it looked like TMS was going to be able to get it. They had, not necessarily the man advantage, but they had a jungler up. They had Renekton was fairly healthy. Yes, Traded was also healthy, but they were able to push Naughty Boys kind of out of that river area and then sort of egress back to the dragon. But Naughty Boys, credit for credit's due, they stalled that fight for so long that Itztai, I keep saying Itztai and Vichy had plenty of time to make their way back towards that fight. And by the time they did, the remaining members of TMS that had just respawned, even though they had Alistar, they were coming in piecemeal and didn't have the ability to win that fight after that point. Zelius with huge engages, being able to kill Supernaut and Malfeasance, making sure that they couldn't T-fight any longer. And yeah, it looked sketchy, but they're coming out on top. 3 Drakes. They're going to feel really, really good about that series.
Yeah, the fight awareness of these players is absolutely insane. And that, like you said, that was just such a long fight.
Yes.
When I noticed Poppy got back into the fight, I was like, oh my God.
Yeah. Well, and that's why. And that's why it looks so good for TMS, because there's no Poppy there. So like, oh yeah, we can just turn towards this dragon, and like we're very healthy, so we can kind of turn on you, or we could just like hard focus the dragon because we have a jungler, you don't. It's a smite difference. This is a completely safe fight. But like again, Naughty Boys, like they stalled the fight for so long, and like I think if you're TMS, like you have to double down on the call, like, hey, get this dragon, so we don't have to worry about being on drag point. Zelius though, trying to face tank.
Always. If Zelius isn't diving, I don't know what I'm looking at.
Why check with anything else when you could check with your face? It's not as fun.
100%. And this Baron is the big thing on everybody's mind. They go for the engage.
Oh, if he'd have landed those chains.
Yeah, maybe he would have been dead. I don't know. Malfeasance.
Yeah, we're saying, oh, that would have been a great engage. Like, nah, he's probably dead there.
Can we get a click on the Vigard just to check the AP?
Yes, let me go over.
Curious.
I will have to break immersion here for a second. And scoreboard, let's go to fight.
Oh, I see how. Okay, you got it set up. I see.
Yeah. So
right.
he has 270. So he's sitting at 527. He's got 270 stacks.
Okay, all right. He's got one needlessly large rod. Thank you for going well out of your way to do that.
No, that's okay.
He's not. He's halfway to the death cap, right? Needs or maybe a third of the way to the death cap if we're really thinking about it.
It's a huge item if he gets it. Well, when he gets it.
Massive. Absolutely massive. Yeah, I mean there's the second needlessly large rod is about 1,100 gold away from a very big hack.
It's Vichy dead from half. Like essentially that's what the math is. If Vichy ever reaches half, Vigar clicks him, he's dead.
Yeah. Which is gonna be tricky. Sort of tricky.
Yeah.
Not to get hit in these fights. But holy hell, we're sort of back to juggling the map, the state of the map. Both teams, I'm sure, reeling from the fact that we're 30 minutes in and it's 15-15. But Naughty Boys have got to know that they've got a slight lead here at the very least.
Yeah. Well, and what's been interesting to me is, like, despite the fact that Naughty Boys have really been able to kind of win some of these more really extended team fights, and the initial fights, like, the Mana Knights have done really, really well to win them and get a position, but then they're not decisive enough on the follow-up call, and that's leading them to, like, lose out on some of these objectives. This dragon is spawning in just under a minute now, so they need to be very specific on what they want to do here, Malfeasance.
Yeah, this is the mid laners finding themselves into the top lane, and Malfeasance very characteristically playing really well around that cage and just great teamwork. They had somebody waiting in the wings. Zelius not able to pull off the assassination. Malfeasance has kept their head cool in so many instances of being dove. I'm just so impressed playing that Vigar, point blank, melee ranged Vigar at times, and saving their cooldowns the exact perfect moment.
Well, more importantly, too, I mean, not only was he able to keep this head, but I think also, like, massive respect to Zelius there. I mean, he did burn a lot to have to avoid that, but the bonus part of that is he pulled so many members top. He pulled 3 people up there, so Naughty Boys, they were able to get aggressive vision. Here comes the fight.
Look at that ult in the back line. Rel locked up 3 people, but bullet time coming from even further back. Smarkin able to get a kill, able to flash to safety, find the perfect angle, and Malfeasance, full health, doesn't quite get the execute. And now, well, Misfortune's walked back into it. This is gonna be pretty risky for the Naughty Boys. There's a lot of damage here, but they're gonna go back in anyways. The cage spin drop. He goes golden, dodges the flag and drag. What does he do now that he comes out of it? He's got to dash away. They almost get the kill on the Alistar, and Poppy's back because they want this soul. That's what this whole fight is about, right?
Fight.
But Poppy had to pull back, and now they're stuck inside the cage, and they just have the damage. A shutdown, 8-2-2. Massive performance on this Misfortune. Now, who knows what's going to happen? All right, they are going to secure it. Just Naughty Boys have been so aggressive, but beautiful from the Mana Knights right there.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they, again, picking their fights right where they wanted to. Yes, you lose Supernaut kind of at the beginning of that fight, so it kind of sucks there where you're losing some of that front line, but the follow-up engagement from them and making sure they're picking targets was fantastic. I do want to point out, though, we talked about that ultimate damage from Malfeasance and how dangerous of an execute it is. Really important to point out that he did click its tie, and while it didn't kill him, it took away the majority of the Poppy's health bar, and if he can do that to a tanky Poppy, then he can absolutely destroy Vichy on that Varus. So look to see him start to be a little bit more aggressive in trying to pick this Varus. But great fight from TMS. Obviously stopping the Dragon Stack is going to feel really good too. So now Naughty Boys are going to have to wait for a couple more minutes before they get anything going. Maybe look to set up this Baron instead. But again, just razor's edge. These fights, these teams are still dead even. We're 32 minutes into the game. There's negligible goal difference. Chance, one of these guys got to find a way to win this game.
Yeah, absolutely. And that was a fight without Vigar on the hat in which he just purchased. He's got the death cap, a massive injection of power into this hyper-scaling AP mage here. Not that one item will just completely make the difference, but as you said, we're on a razor's edge in these team fights. So really could be anything. And we've just gone from one fight where the Naughty Boys took it to another one where the Mana Knights take it. Are these teams gonna risk Baron? We've really only we've seen it done once, right? And it was because a jungler was on the opposite side of the map.
Yeah, I have been thinking about that question for the last minute and a half now, as these guys have been kind of just trading vision back and forth, and you can see the hesitancy in both these teams. Neither team really wants to get caught in this Baron area, getting too aggressive, trying to do something. It's really going to come down to whether or not anybody can get. Oh, is the change of corruption going to miss there?
Oh my God, Zelius, fucking Fast and Furious, drifting around the corner right there to get onto this Alistar, but that's a thick Ox, and they're just gonna walk their way out. I think you're right. I think the doctrine of these teams is we'll take Baron if it's free, but if it's anything but, we're not doing it.
Yeah, and you're going to see a fight eventually erupt around here in this area, either coming in and out of this jungle entrance into the river, because both teams are going to try and aggressively get vision, try and set up for this objective, because they want to be proactive. They don't want to let it go by accident. They don't want anybody sneaking it, but, in the meantime, you've got two top laners that are now bot.
Oh, this is a good play.
Zelius.
This is a good play. Zelius did find a target there, but he wasn't expecting to find 3, and he's living for a really long time because he takes that Alistar all long enough so that the rest of his team can get there. Now Alistar's in an interesting position, but that ADC is going to be hitting him up. Beautiful bullet time. Makes him go golden. Zelius does not quite live through it, but put them in a position where now it's Jarvan who's going to have to pay the price. Malfeasance has to kite alone up to the top side of the map, and that headbutt into the wall. Ty bringing Renekton back in, and it's Kled from all the way downtown. Absolutely magnificent, but whoa! Malfeasance has so much damage, and yeah, you better keep fighting forward, because if you walk back, you're going to run into this Veigar. Can't believe that Ty is still alive right here. That's kind of crazy. Walking back towards them. Traded. My God. Absolutely heroic ideals here. Oh, really thinking about it. Okay, getting some heals back up.
They need to leave.
Now we're kind of in a chase segment.
They need to leave.
Nice from the Poppy. Not able to get over the wall, but he is going to go back in. That cage actually gets Ty on the other side of it, but he's going to live. They get the Alistar. Oh my God, is he going to remount? He's so close. He wants it. He's going to go forward. He does remount. He continues to press the issue. That's going to be the Renekton that he goes for, but no, he turns on Malfeasance. He gets him with the auto, and Ty finds the angle. Naughty Boys have done it in another extended fight that absolutely boggles the mind.
This is exactly what I was talking about earlier. Yes. It's the long fights. They win the beginning engagement. They find a pick on Zelius. They're in a great position. Smartness still up. They still have a jungler. And then in the long fight, they somehow find a way to lose it. And Naughty Boys, they're going to be gifted a Baron that they basically didn't earn.
Oh, but they're going to go for it. I don't know, man. It's aggression, aggression, aggression. I love it. It's paid through with blood here as the Naughty Boys just refuse to stop fighting. And also, oh, wow. Okay. I forgot what team Varus was on for a second there. Incredible 21-21, nearly tied on Dragons. Slight gold lead for the Naughty Boys, but this Baron is going to be massive. Here's a pick. Potentially Ty in trouble. That's one Baron gone.
Yep, this is going to be another dragon here for TMS. They're going to start to get used to parity. And Malfeasance, man, I wanted to make this analogy earlier, but it's even more apt now. Call that man Captain Barbosa. He's got a big-ass hat. He's got a weapon that hits like an actual broadside. This Veigar is starting to do a tremendous amount of damage. Do not let the 2-4-10 scoreline fool you. This guy is completely online. He absolutely hurts, and he can delete just about anybody, with the exception of Traded, off the face of the planet. And again, just the trade back and forth of objectives. We lose a long fight and we get Baron, and then we win another small fight in the bot side and we get Drag. And speaking of losing, we're starting to lose health bars. We're trying to get underneath this turret.
Yeah, this is rough. I think they've actually found the angle. Or not. Sorry. What a massive rel ult right here. But Renekton's coming around a flank on a flank on a flank as everybody is coming from every angle here. But look to the top side of the map. On the mini-map, Visi is pushing here with Baron-empowered minions. And now it's up to Zelius and Rel to just slow this down.
They got to stop these backs.
Use the Baron-empowered. They've got to stop the backs. Let Visi. But I don't know if you can afford to dive in there, because if they these fights, it's going to be, very nice Poppy ult. It is going to be Malfeasance, the Mana Rights, who push forward and win. But the fight is not done. We are still going. Bullet time gets interrupted right there by the Poppy, doing their best to kite back. Misfortune has found a great angle right here, and now it is the Naughty Boys who have to retreat.
Visi killed Renekton.
But that is not going to do enough here as Zelius has to dash away.
He's getting in the game. He's getting in the game.
got the Baron empowered minions. He's not sure. He's got to finish off these minions. He's got to push to the tower. My brain is completely broken as the camera won't show us what we really want to see, which is down at the Nexus. Come on. Okay, it's going to be Visi walking away. What an incredible moment. Almost ending the game. But I think that we are still going to see the end of the game pretty quickly.
This is going to be a trade of probably is going to be a trade of inhibitors. Obviously, VC is here. They can start to clear away this wave. And the fact that Eva won't lose that. That was a massive push by VC. Supernaut went up there to try and stop him and absolutely got decked in that fight. Just absolutely destroyed. And the result of that is they have a blown open base, low towers. That is an avenue for Naughty Boys. Yes, they end up losing still a bunch in that bot side. They end up losing a bunch of members. They're not really successful in stopping the backs, ultimately in terms of stopping the end push. But Vichy got so much work done. And now, if you're TMS, you have to be so worried about that. Like any push, any Baron loss from this game forward with an open inhib, you're in trouble. There's no towers left. The Nexus is open.
This is fucking game 5 shit right here. This is fantastic. I mean, I am absolutely blown away at the heights of drama here tonight. This is just game 2 of a best of 3. Folks, does it get better than this? I mean, this is amateur League of Legends at its peak. This is beautiful, and Traded is really going for it.
He needs to get the hell out of dodge.
Went ult and didn't realize they were right around the corner there. I truly think that ult was supposed to bring them in. This is great. This is great map movement. This is the pressure. And I gotta say, if the Naughty Boys aren't able to pull this off right now, I mean, things are really starting to swing in the direction of the mana rights. Misfortune and Vigar are so online, it is not funny.
TMS are just getting categorically pulled across the map. They don't have Baron to worry about anymore, although it is coming up at 2 minutes. Dragon also about the same time. So, you know, they're having to worry about these objectives, having to worry about an open base. And 3 strong on the side for Naughty Boys means that they can push this aggressively. But TMS, they're looking, they want to do something about this. They're rotating 4. Smarton's still a little far away, but they're seen on vision.
I want to talk about teleports too. Zelius and Traded have these teleports. And they have to respect the Kled. The long range ult of the Kled could bring him.
Wait a minute, I just noticed something.
The Nexus.
I just noticed something, and this is a feature that hasn't been working, and I'm sad that the little thing's in the way now, but this broadcast software has a couple of flaws that aren't the greatest, and I just want to point out that the Nexus timer is in fact working, and I am super happy about that, because that is the one thing that I've wanted to work that has not been working, and it is now working. I am super happy about that. I'm ecstatic.
This is the timer for
on the bottom. So the blue side inhibitor timers. So that inhibitor timer
cool.
is I'm super excited.
All right.
This is a death brush.
Neat. Yeah, it really is. But here's the thing. It's a death brush, but like for who? Like you're going to have to pop Malfeasance. Yeah, but I don't think they can get that Alistar.
Okay, but TMS, here's the question. Like, who are you going to stop? Because you have Kled hard pushing in that top side. Like, you don't have really good egress into either of these objectives. Really, it's just kind of positioning around Dragon. You do not want to give this soul up because conceivably that's going to put you at such a massive disadvantage that you might never recover from it. Like, Naughty Boys, they're doing a really good job of shoving these lanes. They're kind of losing mid-control a little bit, but that's not the most important part. What do they want to do here? What's their call?
Okay, the intention of Zelius is clear now.
Trade's backing up for
that
TP.
He really want. Yep, absolutely great.
They have a flanking ward. It's a really far ward, but they have one.
Yeah, and I mean, distance doesn't matter much to Kled, right? He can come in from so far away. Do they have the damage to burst this super fast? I think you're right. We're going to see that teleport coming in very, very soon. Dragon down. A third of the health is gone.
Zelius.
He's got the Alistar ult. Zelius is going to pop it right now, and the bullet time is not over the Dragon. That's a low Dragon to the bottom right corner, but the fight is going to be popping off right here. Rel, deep in the back line. Visi, completely untouched.
No top laners.
Getting these autos. That's a huge cage. They're going to turn back to the Dragon, and they're going to get it. That is soul grabbed for the Naughty Boys.
Huge fight at another massive Poppy ulti to make sure that Smarton could not have any effect in that fight. Yes, the bullet time goes off a little bit, but it gets absolutely nothing done. Nobody dies, and that damage is great when you have it, but if you don't kill anybody, it doesn't matter. But these guys, they don't want to let it go.
No. Now is the time where you could capitalize. Now, Malfeasance is going to step up a little bit, but look at Zelius' positioning. He's got the bullet time ult, so he doesn't have to dive in. He's actually going to get interrupted. He's going to open up that bullet time. It's not going to hit anybody either, and he's actually going to get deleted by Malfeasance. Absolutely massive. It's a 4v5 now, and now a fully ulted, full health Renekton is going to be diving and dashing through the back line. The health bars are so low here, but they do make it back to the tower, and just huge clapback, huge pick right there onto Zelius. Dear God, did you see
Teleport!
that,
There's someone teleporting.
Holy shit, he's teleporting. It's the Kled, but Malfeasance is there. I think he's going to
try to stop the backs.
They're trying to stop it. That's the smite. They stopped the back. They've decided to risk everything on this, and the camera just simply does not want to show us what's going on. Instead, we have to watch this amazing fight where Visi is being dived on by the Jarvan, and now that's the Renekton coming up as well. A double kill for the Misfortune.
Oh, that could be the end of the game.
Rada gets pushed off. I think we're going to a game 3.
They have a couple minions.
Incredible gambit, but it's not enough. And the Mana Rights have tied it up. Real Pike has got to be screaming and shouting at home right now.
Absolutely. I mean, that was a huge gamble to try and go up there and end the game. I don't think that either team can be able to do it right now. Miniwave's still a little bit far away, but the death timers are kind of long. Zelius is up. They can look to try and clear these waves. It's only 3 strong for the side of TMS. But this is really close. It's going to be a teleport from Vigard. This might be the end. This might be their final push.
Yes, indeed. That's going to be the Cataclysm onto the Kled right there. The cage is going to go down. There's the bullet time. They have perfectly eliminated the Kled. Zelius has the Cataclysm as well. Drops it, and that is going to be it. The
Game 3, baby.
Close it out, and we are getting a Game 3.
Fantastic job by TMS to adjust in that second game. Huge performance for them. That game was on a knife's edge. Literally anybody could have won it at any time. But TMS coming out with that win means that they get a chance to win this series.
Yeah, and that's a lot of momentum. You know, every series a story, and momentum is important. So to take back that game 2, right, when your backs are up against the wall, the Mana Rights have got to be in a great place. And I will say though, I don't really expect that the play style is going to change from either of these teams though, because it is working. This is close every time.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, and a great bounce back performance for them too, considering how that first game went, where definitely Naughty Boys had a much more dominant performance. We're able to close that game out fairly decisively, even though it was close in some moments. So huge job for them to be able to bring this back up. A dead even series. This is now anybody's game to win. This is now essentially just a best of one. Clear your mental, forget about those games, because we're going again.
Yeah, it just, nothing else really matters. It's all come down to this, and it was always going to come down to this. And you're right, the best thing to do is just to let everything else go and show up as if this was a best of one. I think that, I don't know what I think, because anything could happen in this game 3. Both teams have proved it to us, right? We didn't get here because one team was just stomping on the other one. We got here because it has been close, and it has been close in both games. So, God only knows. I mean, again, it's also week 1, so we don't have anything else to compare it to. We don't know if these players' pools have changed, or what the deal is. But
I mean,
tell you what, we're going to learn today.
Yeah, I mean, we don't even know if this is the best of their performances. We don't know if it's the worst of their performances. But hey, if this is how the season starts, buddy, I'm ready for the rest of it. Like, if we're getting bangers like this, game 1, just absolutely letting everything fly, I hope the rest of the teams perform to this, and I'm really excited for what this game 3 is going to bring, because I mean, they have been pulling no punches this entire time. They've been going at each other, and like, you're seeing the strengths of both teams and how they approach the game, their mentality, their willingness to fight and not give up. And you know, it's funny because a lot of other lesser teams in that moment after the end of game 1 would have been very, kind of, low morale, like, oh man, like this is going to be a really tough series, I'm not sure if we can win it. But very clearly, the Mana Rights, not the Minorities, the Mana Rights, very excited to take it in game 2, and now they've bought themselves a lease on life for game 3.
Yeah, and I'm interested to see how the personal play styles will shift at all. And kind of what I mean by that is that Malfeasance has been such a big part of these comps on these casters. And they've been pretty similarly flavored, right? We had the Syndra, where you've got like a great stunning ability and then an undodgeable execute that's going to follow you. And then the same thing with the Vigor. So I'm curious to see where that goes. Similarly with Zelius, I mean, I've just been keeping my eyes on the mid lane. The Akali into the Sylas, both dashing AP assassins here. So these two have really hit very similar notes. The rest of the field, has kind of floated around a bit. I'd say the biggest change was on the mana rights, where they went from Melio to Alistar.
Yep.
Right? That's two pretty freaking different kinds of supports. And they played great on both of those. So, again, anything's possible.
Yeah, it's been overall really great performances from all the players. I think that's the most important thing to kind of highlight is there's no one that's underperforming in a way that like you would be super concerned about, or that you could, highlight to like, oh, this is the weakness of that team. Like, that's absolutely not happening. Just the most difficult part, I think, for both teams has been trying to find their decisive way to win. And you saw that in both games where in the first game, Naughty Boys, like, they had a very decisive team play. Like, they had a great plan. They were able to execute on that, and they were very good about keeping it within that boundaries. And then the same thing for the mana rights. Like, they did a really, really good job playing to their strengths. And yes, there were some misplay moments, but not enough to be like, oh yeah, there's a huge performance problem from some of these players.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's kind of funny. There's like not a lot to analyze, like really, where it's just the truth of the matter is just like, hey, what is there to analyze? Fucking nothing. Sit back and relax and enjoy a thrilling series here. I mean,
I just love they're going to switch sides. That's what I want to know.
Oh yeah, they have been choosing to keep sides, and I don't think it's going to change. It's not. They just confirmed it.
Naughty Boys are staying red side.
Easy enough for us.
Here's a fun stat. You ready for this?
Okay.
Here's a fun stat.
Yeah.
In best of threes, there's statistically a 80% chance that one team playing on red side will win that game. However, in a full best of three series, a team that stays on red side the same time every time has a 70% chance of losing the series because of the inner bias from red side. Isn't that crazy?
Wait, what?
Yeah,
really?
that's how crazy the side differentials is on the game. Like over a best of three. Now, best of five, it changes like really quickly, but like over a best of three, like if you stay on red side all three games, you have like a 70% chance of losing the series because it's bonkers. It is absolutely bonkers. That's a stat, but that's been the side bias for a long time.
That's wild.
Yeah.
That's really nuts. Yeah, I mean, I don't even know how you fix that in the game, because that's really a player thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, who can say? I'm sure they're getting a quick drink, well-earned. This is the other thing about series, right? Mm-hmm. You're locked in for quite some time.
Oh yeah, you're not going anywhere.
It's kind of, sure, these are video games, but this is mental exercise, right? You are having to stay at a certain level of focus the entire time. And this is where you are feeling it, especially after the release of like tension on like both sides. Like you've been so pent up for that game too. And now you just have to like completely change the way you're thinking.
And when you add Kurt Angle to the mix, then the stats invert completely, but then you have to take 10% off.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, Kurt Angle's kind of like the bowling ball to a bunch of pins. Like it just...
Real Pike really enjoying just reading back your Silver Scrapes request. Yeah, we'll save that for finals. Come back for finals. Best of fives. We play Silver Scrapes. Youngster Joey, we've been working on banning of Dingus. It has not really worked. It's kind of been like a finger trap. Like the more we've tried to ban him, he somehow ended up as an admin. We don't want this. I want to be very clear. But yeah, he is.
It's like failing upwards.
It is exactly like failing upwards. I actually think he was begged not to be an admin, but that only made us want to make him one more. Well, that's how it is sometimes. And we are in this draft.
Absolutely. Yeah, and we're starting to see some of the same picks being routinely removed throughout some of the games. Like Tristana, obviously a big pile. Rise, I think, is interesting as well because of how strong he's become. But the thing I love about Fearless Draft is as more champions are taken off the board from when you play more games, you can start to change your ban priors a little bit more, and you have more options to force another team to play different comps that they otherwise might not want to. And so I'm interested to see what drastic adaptations they'll make this time.
Yeah, I mean, let's find out. This first pick, last time, first pick was Renekton for the mana rights, and that did pay off. I'm curious if they're going to do top lane again, and they very well may have.
Yeah, the Pantheon, I think, is a three-way flex. It could be jungle, it could be top lane, could be support. I'd be very surprised to see it anywhere other than top just because of the flexibility of that role. But jungle's also not bad either because, like, it's another global ultimate thing where if you have to track it a lot, you want to keep eyes on Pantheon wherever possible, especially as he's, like, after he does neutral objectives, he can gank a lane really easy. So it gives them a lot of draft threat and gives them flexibility in where they want to place it.
Yeah, and I mean, Horizon, this whole series has been around map play and map movement, and so having a semi-global ult is kind of huge in being able to respond to pressure. Maokai and Smolder, Naughty Boys locking in some scaling of their own.
Yeah, the Maokai is also another flex, so I like the kind of draft threat that these guys are trying to throw at each other. The Maokai obviously gives them plenty of ability to flex that three roles. It could be support, it could be top, it could be jungle. I would conceivably think that it would be jungle unless they get a really favorable matchup top lane later on in the draft, just because Maokai is super abusable in some of his matchups. And like the one where you'd really want to play him, which is against the Scion, can't happen because Scion was played earlier in the series. That's a matchup that typically Maokai wins. Other matchups, not so much. He's got a limited capability in that top side, so my prediction is he's going to go jungle.
We've got Gnar in the top lane, so Pantheon a two-way flex now.
I'm thinking Pantheon jungle unless they want to flex the support.
I think you're right.
They can keep it as a threat later on in the draft because Naughty Boys don't know decisively that that's going.
Yeah.
And then same thing for like Naughty Boys though. They have Maokai, which is still technically a two-way flex. So both of these guys have the opportunity to play mind games with the support. The question is, if Maokai and Pantheon are both supports, like which do you favor there?
Yeah, that's a good question. I'm not really sure. Sorry, I've been burping a lot. I'm loving this Camille pick, though. In the hands of Traded, it feels really, really, in line with what they've been playing. Although it also, for some reason, some small part of me feels like it's a little Zelius coded as well. So Absolutely. Who knows if we're going to get an AD mid laner.
Yeah, starting to see some of these other more bot mid lane bans. Mel hitting the board as well as Wei. Want to deny those in the mid lane, and then Ari and Orianna also hitting the ban board. So trying to deny some of these control mages, some of these barrage mages. As Seraphine going to be the pickup there. That could also be mid, could also be support.
I love it. I love that when the state of League of Legends basically has you being like, and I'll put another question mark next to this champion.
I have answered a total sum.
Get locked in.
I have answered a total sum of no questions with my draft.
Yep, and that's kind of, folks, that's kind of the whole key to casting. It's to walk the middle road for as long as you can and then jump to one side and say you've been there the whole time. That's a blitzcrank, and I'm in love.
So that means that Pantheon is definitely going jungle. I mean, this, we say this, it could be some insane angle. Like, they could always just mix this thing up, but conceivably, like, blitzcrank really can only go on that bot side. Interesting that they paired it with the Kai'Sa, though, just because of the way that those champions kind of play. They sort of they have different philosophies in how they approach the game. So I'm interested to see how that actually works out in that duo.
Yeah, that is going to be interesting. What's this last champ going to be?
Chance caught getting a snack in real time.
Hey, what the fuck are you talking about? That's definitely not 100% what was going on. Ooh, you had sausage quesadillas.
Questions.
Sriracha
interesting. Okay, so this is going to be Smolder Seraphine bot lane, and then Maokai jungle, Victor mid. So interesting. So that kind of confirms the draft. So a little bit less questions there. Now the question is though was team comp wise how these play because the mana rights very squishy, very 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 squishy except for Gnar who is only conditionally tanky.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that could be a problem. Don't really know. It's gonna come down to that, like, if they are, if the Naughty Boys really start to run away with it, which I think both these teams have run away with every game for a short period of time.
Yes.
But they have been halted, for the most part. It's a little harder to do that when it is a very squishy champion that has to do the clapping back because you just might get clapped again.
The most common thing that I've noticed in both these games, it's kind of followed a similar pattern, which is that the Mana Rights, they get a really aggressive bot lane going, they get pressure, and they start shoving the Naughty Boys underneath their tower, but then at top side, it's a 1v1 outplay. That's kind of been the consistent performance for both those top laners. It's just that Superman has not been able to really to fight Traded all that much, even though he's tried, like that first blood just going over to Traded has felt good, both of them. So again, it really comes down to what they do with those results, what do they do with that pressure, and where they focus the fights. Because I mean, we saw in that last game, like even more importantly, where the Mana Rights were getting these really good initial fights. They would win the initial trade, they'd pick a couple people, they'd get the jungler, maybe the ADC, and then they would roll in to take the objective, but then they would just languish there, not take it, and then Naughty Boys, plenty of time to respawn, would come in and win that extended team fight. So I'd like to see them adjust that, where when they win a team fight, they're a little bit more decisive on either making the next call to maybe pick someone else or to go to an objective.
Yeah, and I mean, these teams are just so ready to get into it. The pace that they have just jumped back into the draft, been ready to just fire it up and keep on going. I'm impressed here. They're ready and raring to go. I'm ready and raring to go. I'm excited to get into this game 3. And just figure out how this story is going to end.
Yeah, I mean, there's too many questions that were still left over from last game, which is just the capability of several members. I mean, we did see some small misplays in specific moments where, target selection, like for instance, Malfeasance choosing the wrong person, the less squishier targets to ult definitely kind of stopped them in some of the team fights, but they were able to rally. And like, I think to some degree we saw a little bit of the mentality of panic decision making from the Naughty Boys, where like they were repeatedly trying to teleport into this base to end the game, but they just weren't able to do it. And the result of that was they lost too many people in the resulting fight towards the mid lane, and then they left without any defenders in their base. Now, obviously, that was predicated by VC being able to go towards that top side and do all that damage to the base, but they weren't patient. They didn't let the play develop, and so that got them in trouble. So I think for both teams, there is this little bit an element of like kind of being in their heads a little bit, letting the moment kind of get to them, and just making a snap judgment that isn't necessarily well thought out. And those moments can come back to bite you in a full best-of-3 series.
That's true, and always in retrospect, right? Because in the moment of being like, fuck, we have to fucking hit that Nexus if we can. Sometimes you just gotta send it. But you're right. The whole point of being in that position is to do the second part of that play as carefully as possible, and you can't just let the situation that you've created float away. But we'll see what lessons have been learned. I will be right back. Somebody just knocked on my door.
That's okay. I got it from here while you go get your snack. The one thing I want to point out for those that are kind of watching, obviously we highlighted just a minute ago, was obviously survivability of the Mana Rights in terms of like how they're going to be able to take these fights. Nara's only conditionally tanky, which can be difficult when you're starting to try to take very, very long fights. The other thing I'm worried about too is how they protect characters like Lux, because she does not have any innate mobility. Yes, her ult kind of makes up for some of that damage gap from their early mid game, but then late game she kind of struggles and falls off. Whereas Victor or Smolder are going to permanently scale, and they're protected inherently by the amount of health regen that they're going to get from Seraphine, who kind of sets them up, enables some of the more reliable CC, and I think that's something else to really take into mind, is that Nard has to look for full-on engage and has to commit fully, and if he misses, he's kind of caught out with nowhere to go. Pantheon, again, has the ability with ultimates to set up, but it's conditional whether or not you can actually stun somebody, and as long as you have people standing nearby to protect the squishies, it's not so big a deal. Whereas if you're looking on the side of Naughty Boys, like, not to harp on this too much, but that composition is way easier to play. You have hard commit from Camille and being able to get her ult down. Maokai, with the twisted advance, Victor could throw downfield, plus Chaos Storm does a tremendous amount of damage. Smolder is a permanently scaling ADC, so there's timers on this game to some degree. Now, Kai'Sa does scale fairly well for the Mana Rights, but it's limited. It's not as good as you'd like it to be with what else is paired for it. So, in my mind, the way this game works is, the Mana Rights are kind of on like a 28 to like 32 minute timer, and if the game is even, or if they're behind in that state, then conceivably that's how Naughty Boys win it, because their comp is easier to execute. They have quite a bit of damage, but I will say some of these individual moments, especially from the last game, it all comes down to execution, and between the top laner and the mid laner for the Mana Rights, there's a lot to be proud of and a lot to rely on for them. So interested to see how this game eventually will pan out, and ultimately how the teams were able to make the best use of their comps.
All right, I'm back.
Perfect timing.
Excellent. Missed game 3, but knew we were getting hell yeah, Sergeant Scoots. Good guess. Good guess. Oh shit!
Cream.
Betting. Yeah, I was just looking at that.
You gotta let him gamble.
Gotta let him gamble. There we go.
Gambit time.
Starting the predictions. Sausage quesadillas with sriracha sour cream. Kind of all the condiments. I guess we didn't even really talk about hot sauce.
I'm a sriracha guy. I love sriracha. It goes great on everything.
Totally.
Fun fact, I was in the Navy, and the Navy doesn't believe in flavoring anything. So one of my care packages that I would get like every couple of months was a bottle of like sriracha and Tabasco and Cholula and all that kind of stuff.
Beautiful.
Yes.
I mean, the distance that I'm sure you could make that go is so much.
Oh yeah, you could stretch that whole bottle. Like you would just like squeeze it till it was basically empty, and then you would add like a little bit of cream or like a little bit of like kind of a broth or something like that, just a little bit to like get the stuff on the side of the bottle just to make it stretch. So
you are just purely off of what you just described. I 100% know that you have been able to stretch it as far as humanly possible, and probably have experimented with various different techniques that allowed you to.
I've committed some food crimes in my time. I've committed some food crimes.
Listen to this man about condiments. Had to use them. Beautiful. Loki says Naughty Boys comp is just much easier to execute, and I do see it. I do see it. I think I don't think you're too far off here.
Yeah, I think just
about.
Go ahead, sorry.
No, just a point that you made about how the squishiness on the side of the Manorites. I think that ultimately is just going to make it a lot more difficult to, everybody. No one can really do a hero play outside of Gnar and like jump in front of the bullet.
Well, and I think the other kind of unspoken part too with having a composition like what the Naughty Boys have drafted is in those moments where everything's like high tension, you're really stressed, and like everything's just chaotic, and you're like everything's going a million miles an hour. You're not sure you're supposed to be clicking. Like people are dying all around you, health bars getting depleted. Like everything's just seems like everyone's lost their minds. That easier to execute team comp kind of saves you there in an instance of like, yeah, maybe you lose some nuance or some like cool abilities that you might otherwise have in like a harder to execute comp. But the difference is there is you're more likely to succeed because you know exactly what you're supposed to be doing and your priorities are easy to understand.
Absolutely. Zach, evenings. Good to see you, man. Yeah. I was also just sort of thinking about the sad little, we were talking about, level 1 shenanigans are gone, which is a sad little nerf to... Ah! Blitzcrank gets the bull, pulls the Seraphine in deep, and that's going to be Samvercan continuing to press the issue. That's first blood. That is a beautiful pull. That's the Blitzcrank dream. You want to have the impact every time you grab somebody, and so far, it's a 100% kill rate.
Massive first blood. The first time this whole series we haven't had a first blood that wasn't in top lane, so massive kudos there. But, I mean, huge deal for them to get that. That gives Kai'Sa so much priority in that lane now. And what we were talking about, some of the vulnerabilities of this composition, well, now you can start to mitigate that with a little bit of extra gold. First blood, first kill on the Kai'Sa, and that's exactly where you want that gold to go.
Yeah, really nothing to be mad about at all on the side of the Manorites. I think you're just pumped as hell that's how that played out, and now you're off to the races. Now you have to wield that lead responsibly, though, and that can be difficult.
Remember, ladies and gentlemen, you must wield your lead responsibly. Or do it irresponsibly. Who are we? We're not going to tell you what to do.
Yeah, whatever. Honestly, I'd prefer if you were irresponsible about it. That's a lot more interesting to watch.
Go get a first blood and then run it down mid. Why not?
Yeah, exactly.
Keep on your toes. Never let them know what your next move is going to be.
Exactly. Speaking of mid lane, we've got this is going to be a pretty different mid lane right now. We've got this is a little bit more in the way of farming.
That damage hurts.
Yeah. Lasers on all sides. No fucking way.
no! Oh, they can't stop for winning. Wearing Sweat's going to be very happy to have a blue buff. What an absolute beast.
Oh my god. I mean, it's the Blitzcrank of your nightmares, and look at the flank that is about to happen.
Oh no!
Running forward. Now they're saving the pull, which is really nice. They walk back, pull him out of tower range, and they take the kill because they deserve it. Because they're a support that works hard.
Yeah, he freaking earned that. Don't ever take that away from him. Wearing Sweat's putting in work. This is what we want to talk about. The adaptations, not only in draft but in game. TMS are like, hey, we know where our best points are. We know where we can be strong. And something that we talked about. I want to harken this because we were talking about this in game 1. The ability for junglers to get involved early has been so drastically changed by the changes that Riot have made to the game. But Kangaroo's still showing that there are opportunities to make something happen and even not go down. Yes, you know, he's going to lose out a little bit on pacing for some of his jungler camps. It's Ty will be happy to have that, but like, look at what you're getting for that. That investment, you've got a kill on the Kai'Sa, you've got a kill on the Blitzcrank, he got a blue buff. Like, they are winning this early game, and as long as they keep up that pacing and as long as they're proactive like that, that is not going to stop.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
I mean, here it is again.
And ignited.
100% hit rate. You just can't miss when you're wearing Sweats. You know, you're too comfy. You're too relaxed. They are nailing these skill shots.
You know, the problem is he's wearing those baggy kind of, those baggy gray sweats, and so his hands are in his pockets, and no one can see what he's doing with them hands. And when he throws them out there really quickly and jabs them, it's a surprise every time. Seraphine is having a rough lane.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Oh my god, just hunting again. There's also, god damn, he's busy. Busy is gonna get pulled. But wait a second, they've got the damage, and they're actually gonna push the Kai'Sa off there. You know, good that they're not too shaken to forget the fundamentals and just slamming damage into that ADC.
Well, and also, like, Smartson, respect to Smartson and wearing Sweats, like, you can see it in real time, like, we're getting a little out of him. We need to kind of back this up before we mess this up. Because you don't want to give, like, any kind of shutdown that early on. So they're like, let's do the responsible thing and go back. The wave's not in a terrible state. Like, yeah, it's going to bounce back. But, yeah, I mean, smart play by them to not get overly aggressive there because you don't want to give any gold.
Yeah, you gotta keep your cool. This is the responsibility factor that we were talking about. And there's a very, there's just the fun factor, right?
Yes.
This is a game. If you are having fun, I believe that you're more likely to win. And I bet that the Man Rights are having a blast right now, just hooting and hollering as every single pull hits. I think as they continue to hit those pulls, there's just going to be the internal fun block. Although, look at this, they were expecting more kerfuffles down into the bot lane, and now Blitz can't really pull them forward because if they do, they're going to, once they need to get back to tower.
Double root!
Oh, there's the damage that's going to come through. The Maokai with the lockdown, a great cue to push them back, but they get taken down, and Malfeasance has roamed down. A massive double kill for the Pantheon, and it's 5-1 to favor the Mana Rights.
Oh, and that looks so good for NB. I'm blanking. This is the one moment where we haven't casted.
Don't sweat it. We're like 3 hours into this.
But Naughty Boys, that play looks so good for them because definitely Smartson and Wearing Sweats had overextended. So you're thinking, okay, this could be a really good time to get this kill. Like, you can knock down the Blitzcrank. Okay, we can get something more. But then the roam from Malfeasance and the fact that Kangaroo just wasn't dying, was able to turn that around was huge. 5-1, Kai'Sa 1-0-4. Pantheon's got 2 kills. And they've got the Dragon now. They are really, really excited about this. I was going to ask you who's having more fun. I'm not even sure we could identify who on the Mana Rights is having the most fun.
No, absolutely. I mean, they've got the momentum from having this just as a flat base. Every team member is probably psyched that they have won game 2, and now game 3 is looking pretty good. But I'd have to say the member of the Mana Rights who's probably having the most fun is Real Pike, who's been in the chat and has been saying this would happen for 3 hours now.
He's like, I foretold you so!
We've consulted the augurs. The augurs, of course, all just being Real Pike. And, the fortune that they have said will come to pass is looking pretty good right now. But even we have to clear our heads because it's not even 8 minutes yet. We're in the 7th minute of this game. There's a lot of League of Legends left to play, and Traded is going to make a case for that with a lot of just aggressive trading up here. Plenty of time for the Naughty Boys to stabilize the ship.
Yeah, I mean, if we were consult the Augur, which, by the way, for League of Legends, the Augur is like the dregs of a white monster or a white claw, as we're in sweats wants to get something done. But like, as we consult the Augur, they're like, that is how this top lane has gone. It's just been like absolute pressure by traded just until a jungler gets involved and permanently pushing Supernaut underneath his turret, and Supernaut really not really having a great answer for it right now. Traded is very safe too, as is Camille. So that is an avenue at which you know, Naughty Boys can look to kind of get back in this, is maybe play towards there. You're going to have permanent prio in that lane, so that means you can play for something like Herald or Grubs. Interesting, though, the kind of tempo shift here on this bot side, because Seraphine and VC still having quite a bit of agency in this lane to continue to push this out. By the way, sorry, as for those respecters. Oh, never mind. Pantheon.
Oh, we've got to fight the Pantheon coming down, but also there was a flank already by the Maokai. And now maybe they're going to be the one who is pulled off.
Flash.
Looking sweat, walking up, looking for the pull.
Oh, that's
right
not the
there.
one you want.
They got the stun, but that's the hard and a choke point right there. And maybe they've dived a little bit too deep. Malfeasance has roamed down. That's going to be a 1 for none. Oh my God. Or, I love it. That's,
I lived.
Maokai
he had
made
to
the
flash.
only member who would live.
He had to flash. He had to flash to avoid the Smarkton's Q. That was a really, really big thing there, because if they're able to walk away with a kill like that, that's super worth. But great job by Naughty Boys in adjusting to that. Also, great timing by It's Ty, making sure that he was there to kind of stop the Panther. I think he kind of had a sixth sense about it. Oh, Malfeasance not going to tick.
Wow, starting that
I thought he was going to back there.
Pretty fucking ballsy plays. Well, we're seeing the tankiness factor already play into this, right? You know, this has been a series that has been, oh my God, Zelius. It does not matter what he is playing. He is still diving 2 towers deep. Oh, just a little bit too far. And Malfeasance is used to that by this point. Really well done.
You can be lucky, or you can be good, or if you're Malfeasance, you can be both. Both being lucky that he didn't get tagged by some stuff, and being good enough to sidestep a bunch of the abilities, because, yeah, Zelius definitely wanted to land a Q over that wall, but, I mean, great sidestep by Malfeasance, great heads up, and I think just, like, great proactivity and reactivity from the Mana Rights, and just being... I don't know, but it's hard to say, like, they're just being only aggressive, because they are being defensively minded, but it's in weird spots, so... yeah, Naughty Boys, they're kind of struggling to get anything going here. They're finding some of these one-off moments. We're only 10 minutes into the game, so there's still plenty left to play. But, I mean, right now, the Mana Right's feeling really, really good.
Yeah, they're definitely very happy with what's going on here. But yeah, not even too crazy of a lead based off of what's been happening. And some of that is just getting mitigated by CS in this top lane, by CS in this mid lane. Every time Malfeasance has roamed, Zelius has grabbed a plate and, you know, a wave and a half for free. So there's been a cost to these effective plays in the bot lane.
Yeah, absolutely, and that cost is going to continue to mount as well. You know, as the game goes further on, and that's going to become really important for them to make sure that the kill goal is going where it needs to be. You know, Malfeasance's doing a really good job to kind of make the most of this lane, especially after getting bullied out fairly early by Zelius. You know, we're going to see some of that start to go away as the laners start to leave their assignments and start to go towards these neutral objectives. Dragon is spawning in about 5 seconds, and there's been no prio really placed up towards the top of the map. The junglers have kind of just been content to just leave those two on an island. So now that these guys are starting to posture for this potential dragon, I want to see whether or not Naughty Boys even want to try and make a play towards it. It's Ty is coming.
Yeah, and Maokai is great for poking out objectives like this, getting a little bit of vision with those saplings. Very nice dodge by Supernaut up there, but will still take a ton of damage.
Are they going to go or not?
I don't know. I think they got together to talk about it, and they just decided it's not worth it right now. Let's wait till the next one. But in the top lane, we've got a real fight breaking out as Camille is going to drop that ult. Burns a flash, but not around terrain. Close enough to be able to use that E to close the distance.
Great side stuff, as always. Yeah, that's unfortunate. You're thinking you're close enough to get the hook on there, and then, you know, obviously the follow-up would have been pretty nice. And that's for sure a kill there if he manages to get on the terrain. But, you know, sometimes being lucky, Super not going to be happy to walk away with that one. And you know, as the game is starting to draw on a little bit more, 2 dragons to the good for TMS. They're going to feel really happy about that. They're going to know that it's something they don't have to stress about. Even if this game state starts to change for a little bit and they kind of get placed on the back foot and they have to let some things go, they don't have to worry about, you know, the dragon stacking for the side of Naughty Boys. So they have a little bit of freedom to play around this map and start to develop plays. I'd like them to maybe pay a little bit more attention towards this top side. Maybe make trade and not feel so safe as they make a play for Herald. Just be a little bit more proactive there because they've got a sizable lead. They can really start to make that hurt, but they need to find some good ways to do it.
Yes, they do. And, you know, you're going to have to start experimenting because you can't let things go on for too. I mean, I'll say this, right? The Smolder, right? The Smolder's going to scale. They do have this, like, extreme scaling in that. The Victor as well. No one's going to be mad about having that champion on their team in the late game. But look at this as the play transpires. Oh, my God. He actually got the pull off while he was stunned. Still hasn't missed, I believe, at least from what I've seen.
Yeah.
But no kill there, importantly.
Yeah.
Just time spent.
Yeah, again, just a lot invested to kill Malfeasance for really not a whole lot. I mean, they're not even going to get a summoner because he didn't have any to burn. Presumably, they'll get the teleport, but that's just a natural part of getting back to lane. Traded wants to try and see if he can pick up some of Super Knott's health, which he will do. I mean, I like the intent there. You know, you're trying to put pressure onto this Lux. You're trying to see if maybe if you can kill her, you can get some damage on this mid turret, get some gold and some experience that way, get pressure. But it's just not working out for them right now. And it's way too early to call this desperation or anything like that because Zelius isn't in a desperate spot, and neither is, I think, Naughty Boys. But you can start to see some of that stress of like, all right, like we're trying to make these plays and they're really not working. You know, and you start to wonder like, okay, what else can we really do? Because you know, if you try a bunch of stuff and it doesn't work, you're going to start to run out of ideas.
Yeah, but again, you know, the thing that just won't leave my mind is the tankiness. There's finally one that misses, but only due to the flash. Very nice Seraphino can attack 2 people, and they've got the Smolder coming across the bow as well. They've drawn a teleport too. Seraphine low health, but does make it out, and now Smarkin has to flash over the wall, and Camille is here traded. All the gold that's been gained by the farm lead in the top lane now being thrown onto this Pantheon. They get the pick right there, and now Malfeasance finds themselves in the front line, but they've got a flash. Really well done. No ult to follow up, but they've got that nice poke from the Kaisa, and it's going to be a 1 for none. A great response here from the Naughty Boys.
Yeah, fantastic trade for Naughty Boys. Yes, they don't get a whole lot of it in terms of kills, but don't let that fool you in terms of the scoreboard and death timers. Because what they did was they were able to win in a fight in their own jungle that decisively they were probably going to lose, but traded fantastic teleport, gets involved in the fight, and now it's tied. He wants to make something else happen here. Gnar, he's going out of Mega.
Yeah, absolutely. And this time, Traded has brought a friend. Hasn't been able to lock down the Gnar on their own, so they bring a Maokai, and they succeed. And now, would you look at that? They've got the Rift Herald. Easy peasy, something to work on.
Yeah. Yeah, and this is kind of the opposite of what we were calling for earlier, where we wanted to see TMS start to make their own play towards that top side and, you know, maybe look at them being the ones to get the Herald. But, you know, the pacing of that, the result of those plays is now you can make something else happen. You can start to play for that neutral objective. Yeah, the hook misses. You hate to see those. He's starting to come up a little bit short. Those free flows aren't quite landing the way they were just a minute ago.
No, true. But, I mean, that is sort of the nature of Blitzcrank.
Oh, Smartin.
People get you. Oh, I mean, look at this damage trading. Wow. Zelius. Some bite behind that bark there as the Naughty Boys find some damage. But Malfeasance with the clap back, not able to get the kill. Vizzy is just going to punch Malfeasance around. But, you know, enough AP, and we are going to look at Malfeasance one-shotting a couple of people when they catch him.
Yeah, that was 75% plus health. Oh, flash forward and the ultimate!
Oh, Horizon says I'm not hitting hooks anymore. I'm going to flash ult for the kill.
Can't miss my ult if it's point blank.
100%. Wow. Okay, going very nice.
He got Mega, but that's just purely defensively. He's just trying to get traded off of him. Zelius might be the next up. Gets hooked.
Yeah, that's a pick right there. And oh my God, Traded just won't let it go in the top lane. Kills him under tower.
Yeah, for Naughty Boys, I mean, it's a 1-for-1 overall, but they really would like to be in a position to have contested that Drake. This is going to be drag point. It's tied. Not even going to look at it yet. No one posturing over there. So, yeah, this is just going to be a massive pressure point going over to TMS for really free. Yes, they're going to lose a top tower for it, but that's a trade that they'll be fine with.
Yeah, I think actually both teams are like, obviously this isn't ideal for Naughty Boys, but I understand why Naughty Boys didn't want to just throw people into the breach there.
Sure.
You've just started to equalize this game, and indeed they've got themselves a gold lead, whether or not they realize it. But you're starting to feel it, right? Guys, we're winning the fights. Don't throw at this objective. That's what I'm convinced are the calls that are happening in the comms right now. I think we're going to see the next neutral heavily fought over, because now the Naughty Boys have confidence, and now, I mean, they get any more, and that's too much.
Well, the upside of that too is now that they've got that top tower down, you can permanently put Traded kind of in that solo lane on the bot side. He's got a lot of mobility, not only just with his kit, but then also with teleport. So you can start to make some of those aggressive plays. And from now on, really, if you're Naughty Boys, you want these fights to kind of be group fights, other than passively trying to get smolder stacks. He has 137 stacks there, as you can see at the top right of his picture frame. So once he reaches that 225 mark, that's really where he becomes very, very dangerous, and that execute starts to kick in. Obviously, a very long way away from that. It's only, we're still not even 20 minutes into the game, so it's going to take him quite a bit of farming to get there, but over time he's going to reach it. And you're talking about some of being proactive and trying to make the most out of things. You're going to reach these item breaking points and these level breaking points, and Naughty Boys, that's going to be their opportunity to kind of get back in this game.
Yeah, they just flat out have scaling on their side.
I Blitzcrank would have hit that hook.
Yeah, not exactly what they were looking for. But yeah, no, I think like the scaling of Naughty Boys is formidable, and talk about learning lessons from your opponents in a series. This feels like a Mana Rights comp, right? With something that's going to be scaling like that Vigar, in game 2. So Naughty Boys can do it too. They can play for the late game, and they're showing us that they can.
Absolutely. The Herald timing is going to be interesting too when we're talking about some of the early game objectives. That's something that we had mentioned earlier as far as pressure. I'm interested to see what they're going to try and do with this timing-wise, because if they can knock down this bot lane tower and then get position over this next drag, it puts them in a really good position to contest it, like you said, that they're going to have to do. This is 3 drags. You really, really don't want to give this one over if you have any hopes of trying to win this game, especially if you're trying to scale towards the late game. So interested to see how they're going to approach this setup.
Yeah, and that's going to happen over the course of the next 40 seconds. I like where they've got Traded, right? I think the placement of Traded, and also the fact that, okay, now this is sort of actually interesting. I actually don't like where they have Traded. He's the only one who has teleport this time around. Zelius has opted for the cleanse. And so they are going to need to have people a little bit more clustered together. But it's worth it. As we've been saying, you don't want to give somebody soul at like 22 minutes.
No.
That's not ideal, and they're here to stop it. They're walking as a group. They've got their pink wards out. A scuttle is available to be taken. They're giving it a little bit of time before they take it, so that they get the most bang for their buck here. So they're doing everything that they should for a team that wants to pick up the next drag.
Yeah, I mean, and not that this is acceptable, but worst comes to worst, this is Cloud Drake. It's not the worst Drake in the world to give over. It's categorically kind of one of the less useful. It doesn't hurt so much. They're going to summon that Herald up. But you don't want to give this over if you can possibly avoid it. And you brought up that point about only having the one teleport. I would love to ask Zelius what the idea was behind those cleanses. Like, I can understand Smolder wanting to do it because even momentarily. But for Zelius, like, what is it that you're cleansing that you're not worried about being able to throw, like, your Stasis Field and Chaos Storm over yourself? I think really it would have been better for them to have the teleport to have a little bit more lane threat or a little bit more versatility. And so interested to see like whether or not he'll even get full value out of that cleanse, because like my question is like, what are you cleansing?
Yeah, we've seen him use it once before on a Lux binding, but point taken. I think that we've seen him use teleport really well, and this is maybe a more personal choice, but we have got a team fight that is brewing here over the dragon. A 5v5 pitched battle. Smolder on the top side of this fight, just throwing fireballs down. They're going to be handling this wave. Gnar and Kaisa performing similar responsibilities for the Mana Rights, and that Blitzcrank is the member to keep their eye on. They've had a stellar performance so far. They've put on their gloves. They want to make something happen here. They want to pull an unsuspecting member in, but there are some pretty bad targets you don't actually want to pull. You don't want to pull that Maokai. Maokai into the front of your
malfeasance.
team. And you don't want to get poked out here because there's considerable poke on both sides. They grabbed it. They grabbed the Seraphine. Can Seraphine get the ult off? They cannot. That's a beautiful pick right there. The Maokai ult is coming across and Smolder in a great position, but now they're backed up against the wall, but it doesn't matter because the Mana Rights are on the run now. A Gnar for a Seraphine right there. A really good pick. Goes for another one, but Horizon, look at these health bars, right? We've got a significantly healthier Naughty Boys.
Yeah, that's the zone control that we were talking about earlier in draft. The ability for Naughty Boys to just cut out those avenues. Yes, Seraphine gets grabbed, doesn't manage to get the ultimate off, but that's not the worst thing of the day. Zelly is gonna get ultimate flashed out. That's the cleanse. So,
there's the cleanse.
All right,
there's
so
the cleanse, baby.
Respect where it's
Asked
due.
and answered, absolutely. But more instances of CC are gonna do it. That was a brutal blast cone.
Yep. And see, cleanse didn't even really help you because you still got. So my point still stands.
Well, hold on, I think that's the blast
flash
cone.
another hook.
Whoa! It's not a blast cone, it's this Blitzcrank. Wearing sweats as Cha Gaming TTT made an argument for. Give him the MVP so far. They're having a stellar performance.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, still the game's still mostly kind of at parity. It's funny enough, still a 1.5K gold lead for Naughty Boys, even though that's really not that much. Most of that is just kind of split between the Smolder and the Victor. But it's very important to notice. Or sorry, no, flip it the other way. Most of that gold is on traded as that Camille, and then on Maokai, and then the rest of it is kind of just spread between the other 3 members of TMS. God, Chance. I mean, this game is so close. Like, you can see the moments where these guys want to win it, and the Dragon Stamping temporarily stopped for TMS, but like that does not really give them a lot of breathing room.
No, not at all. I mean, I think we are starting to get to the point of the game where when you lose a team fight, you don't just lose an objective. You lose a chunk of your territory. And there's still plenty of towers up on both sides. I don't think Naughty Boys have lost a tower yet, actually, which is also another reason why there's a gold lead for the Naughty Boys, because they have taken towers, they have been taking plates. But the Mana Rights have been getting these kills and these dragons. Kind of a trade-off here, and we'll see if that's worth it. I mean, honestly, those first 3 towers, they're eventually going to fall to the Mana Rights. That's pretty easy gold for them to pick up.
But right now, it's a bastion. It's a bastion for Naughty Boys. Like, they eventually will fall.
Yes.
But it does give them flexibility.
Totally.
Something else
having that mid lane tower up is fantastic.
Oh yeah, I mean the flexibility that gives you to move around the map, and the fact that, like, even though later on, like, you're going to do a lot of damage to that tower and you can take it quickly, the fact that it's still up is annoying. So I mean, it's something that TMS definitely have to be respectful of. And speaking of being respectful of something, if we look at the Smolder, we are getting very, very close to that 225. This was what we were talking about almost 10 minutes ago. So he's really, really close to getting that breaking point on the stacks.
Yeah, and that's what the Naughty Boys have kind of been waiting out, right? They've done their job. They've stopped the bleeding. They got that one dragon that they needed to prevent. Look at this little trap right here. Malfeasance going for the full combo, and they get it. They pull it off. Is the shield enough? Do the 1v1 happen? Or is it a... Oh, shit. That was brilliant. I did not know if the back end of that shield's going to be enough. It was looking pretty tight. Yeah,
and didn't have anything like barrier or anything like that, so we're just going to have to eat it if that didn't work. But, I mean, did manage to survive. That's an easy 1v1 there. And showing that the Lux can decisively win that if you are not careful in checking your brushes. Do they start this Baron? This would be a ballsy call. This is, I don't think there's any way they start this. They need another pick.
No, they need another pick. Oh, but they pull out the Smolder ult right there.
I'll be honest, and I don't mean to be disrespectful to Naughty Boys. If VC had gotten hit by that hook, he would have deserved it. You're a Smolder. Do not face check anywhere near a river when a Blitzcrank is trying to...
what about a Lux, though? There it is. That's the cleanse again.
The health bars, though.
I know. It's a lot. And the poke is intense on both sides here. I mean, we could just have long-range artillery battles for a little bit of time here, and it would be a minute before either team really felt the pressure.
Yep. Nobody died, so we can't do an objective. Is basically what every song is saying. Like, I'm using all these abilities. Nobody's dying. We're going to get this mid lane turret, though, so that'll be something. VC has now reached his stacks breakpoint, so now the fighting gets a little bit easier, but the ping's on the Baron. Do not do that, Baron, please. You are going to get hurt.
It's such a risky play, and everyone's been doing a great job of, like, resisting the Siren Song of Baron. And it's just... Baron is so often just something that you should use to lure your opponent to you.
This is going to be a trade. This is going to be a trade for Baron for drag.
Whoa.
I think, unless they get pulled. They don't want to let this go.
I think this is good for the mana rights.
This is split. Supernaut's still on the bot side. He has aggressive wards he can teleport too. They're burning this down. Naughty boys. They're not doing fast. They're not fast enough yet. Oh, dodge the hook.
Oh, if that lands, they're fine. But instead, they've got to contend with this Victor ult. They're going to burn it. They're going to burn it, but I think they're going to die for it. Blue team's going to get it. That's going to be Pantheon going down. That's going to be Blitzcrank going down. That's a 2 for none. Huge. And the Dragon gets taken. Oh, sorry, the Dragon will get taken, but Trade's going to pull off. He's going to find himself. Oh, my God. Stop the blast cone. Wait a second.
He got launched over the wall. So Trade got launched over that wall through the blast cone, and then Supernaut was able to walk away because the ult timed out. Got you.
Hilarious interaction. But, hey, that really went the way of the Naughty Boys.
Yeah, that Baron, I think, not really all that worth. Yes, you're going to get a tier 2 in this top side, but you lost a bunch of people for it. It's just kind of a circumstantial Baron. You're also not going to be able to get the Dragon stacking. But I think also, like, in retrospect, too, like, there's really not a lot of good calls for TMS because you don't have an answer for Traded in the bot side or really in any lane. He's just going to permanently push out Gnar, so you had to do something. And so I think if you're TMS, you're just trying to force Naughty Boys, like, in a position to have to make a call one way or the other. Like, either give us Baron or contest us there or try to go get drag or something. Just, try to do something to make them make a mistake.
Yeah, for sure. Just got a text and responded to it. Boom.
Boom.
Yeah, I mean, they've got the Baron. They're gonna do the classic Baron push. So far, it's just been one turret, right? No, they got one on the bottom side as well?
Yeah, there's one on the bot side.
Okay, so 2 turrets for the Baron for 2 kills. And that Dragon gets flipped. But here's the thing. You've given up another Dragon, which
that'd be a huge fight.
You technically didn't need. We have a massive fight. Here we go. That's going to be huge. Ult's coming in. The Maokai ult, the Smolder ult. That's a low-looking Blitzcrank. Oh, my God.
Teleport
shutdown. Malfeasance is gone. It's a 3 versus 5 right now. I mean, incredible pop damage from the Naughty Boys. They capitalized on the moment perfectly. And Horizon, I think we've seen the power shift over now. We're in the part of the game that we have been talking about.
Well, and also for Supernaut, I mean, what was that teleport? No disrespect, but you're not Mecha Gnar. That fight is all over. Just hold that teleport. The fight's like you've already lost it. You're not going to get anything out of it. I mean, and yeah, Chance, we're starting to see the power balance get shifted. Like, Smolder is now doing a tremendous amount of damage and is not under so much threat anymore as long as he has his summoners up. Like, the team fighting is fully on board for Naughty Boys. I mean, this is where the game starts to get difficult if you're the Mana Rights, because you've got a lot of ground to cover. This is where Blitzcrank starts becoming a little less useful outside of just landing the hook. He's not offering tremendous amount of utility outside of that. So this is where the scales start to tip for Naughty Boys, and as the longer the game goes, the worse it's going to get.
Yeah, and I gotta say, that team fight really put into context how effective Maokai ult is going to be in pinning this team in. Because if you are the Lux, if you are the Pantheon, if you are like the Blitzcrank, you don't have too many crazy repositioning moves, right, that can happen at the drop of a hat. Oh, Blitzcrank has got to back off there, and now the objective, which they were just giving away before Dragon, it looks like they might not even get a chance to take it.
Yeah, and TMS, they've got to find a way to overload a side right now and force Naughty Boys to respond to them some way or the other. Like, you have to get some sort of pressure, some sort of threat. Clearing away this vision, like, yes, Baron is in 2 minutes, but that's not the objective you should be worried about because you've, like, proven that you can't really do anything with it in this state right now and trade it. He might just get a kill on Supernaut. If he goes down before this Baron setup really happens, this is going to be disastrous for TMS. Like, they need to send him some help.
Yeah, no, for sure. Traded has just been, I mean, he's been hard to handle this entire series, but certainly on this Camille, I don't know how you handle him. I think top side is the side to potentially, they've got forces in the area. It's Zelius there, but that's going to be a good, I understand why you go for that.
Yeah.
I completely understand why you go for that. Kaisa may be in some trouble.
Smarkon needs to be very careful. He was, he did not have any help there. That could have been potentially disastrous. That Kaisa goes down, you start to lose the game very heavily off that. And right now, I feel like TMS, they kind of just, they don't know where they want to do, where they want to be or what they want to do. Like, they're kind of reaching pretty heavily for these fights. They're going to try and overload topside, but Traded's going up there. So you got to pick the way you want to lose here if you're TMS. Like, you can't have your cake and eat it too. You got to find some way to break out of the stall, because this is what Naughty Boys want. They just want this slow, methodical pace. They want to just continue to scale up because it doesn't hurt them. Like, they're not losing hardly anything else on the map. They're setting up for this death brush.
Totally no harm, no foul, and I do love this play. I love tricks and traps, and who better to play it on than the Blitzcrank?
Smart
Kaisa.
Oh, they want to wait.
I feel like I'm watching a horror movie, and I'm watching protagonists walk by the door.
Ping's on the wrong spot. They don't know that they're here. They're not suspecting this at all.
On the other side, but Zelius may have given up the goat right there, but does it matter? It's hard to tell as all the ults come down, and the damage is there.
Ouch.
2 members of the Mana Rights fall, and this is a total rout as Maokai just waits for the cooldown. Very nice root, and there's the damage once again. Hard to imagine Kangaroo getting out of this one, and it's all happening just in time for this next dragon that will put the Naughty Boys.
It's 5 dead.
Dragon.
It's 5 dead, and Traded was able to kill Smarkon at the end of that. That was a huge error in not checking vision. They weren't proactive. They just waltzed at mid lane, thinking that, well, surely Naughty Boys can't be here because that would be way too aggressive for their comp. Just weren't respectful of that. Did no advanced visioning. Just wanted to go straight towards the objective and got caught out. And this might very well be the end of the game because they're going to start knocking down these towers. They're going to get a huge amount of gold, and they're in fantastic position to just go straight to Baron.
Totally, yeah. This is one of those instances that we talked about where these teams actually feel comfortable taking Baron. And certainly Naughty Boys have been very skittish about it. In particular, yeah, they've got the backs. This is okay. The Mana Rights, this has been a huge blow to them, right? Yep. They're still not out of it. What is their way back in here? Does it just have to be off of a Blitzcrank hook or Malfeasance, catching somebody from range and, killing one of the squishies?
Yeah.
I mean, how do they find their way back into a W?
The problem is that Naughty Boys have 3 damage threats. You have a Victor, a Camille, and a Smolder, which are very, very isolated. So even if you get one of them, you still have 2 other damage threats. You really are looking to try and get Traded off because he does provide them so much zoning and security. The best bet, if you can kill him in an isolation, like 1v2 or something like that, and then transition that over to some sort of neutral objective control, that's their best bet. But outside of that, like, not to put a too nasty of a point on it, but I mean, this is really kind of death by 1,000 cuts. This is the slow bleed that they had to have been worried about when they were looking at this Naughty Boys comp, because right now, like, Naughty Boys is not threatened by anything. They have side lane threat, and the problem is TMS doesn't have a way to enforce that. You don't have a way to separate and get threat at pushing on any of the lanes. You don't have the ability to force through any other objectives right now. You're kind of waiting for Naughty Boys' mistake. So to be honest with you, they need some luck, and they kind of need a little bit of a miracle. And whether that's a blitz hook, whether or not that's a timely pick. Yeah, this isn't how that goes, though. Malfeasance, this is not how you want to do that. Manages to flash.
Not the timely pick you were talking about. Zelius has gone the wide way around and will end up with the kill. And that is a key piece of the puzzle to the Mana Rights way back into this game. Gone now.
I think that's game.
And Baron is just too tasty to pass.
I think that's game. They don't have a way into this Baron. Meganar is a while away off. He's not going to be able to get there in time. Meanwhile, Trade is pushing bot side. I mean, might just be the final nail in the coffin. I mean, considerably, there's no way in there. Maybe you try and push mid and get something, but it's going to be a consolation prize.
Yeah, and look at this safety teleport from Traded, who just like...
They're going to wrap this.
It's just... Yeah, I think I guess they could have turned it into a flank. That's a nice play there from the Mana Rights to take something. But they're just going to keep... And, look at the chase on this team with the Camille. Nar's there to provide a little bit of cover, too. Looks like they will make it out. But still, off of one pick, Naughty Boys just grabbed the biggest objective on the map.
Oh, this might be it.
Oh,
Traded
this
to
is a
1v3.
trap. This is really well done. Can they pick traded, though?
Yep.
Do they have the damage? It takes a second, but they get it. That's a shutdown into Kaisa's pocket. It's pretty good. No big objective to take, but still, proof of concept.
That's the Baron down on one of their strongest members. That's going to give them a little bit of breathing room. And what I was about to say is if you're the Mana Rights, you're going to have to start taking stock and make a list of things that you can absolutely live without. You know, it's kind of like a brush fire setting where when everything's on fire, you just try to make your peace with what you can afford to live without. But right now, that option may not be up to them because everything's getting repossessed.
Yes, it is. Speaking of fire, Smolder wants to burn the jungle down.
Oh,
Just a double kill. And the damage. Zelius with just an enormous ult at this point.
Long death timers. And this is what we were talking about. Even if you get one, you still have 2 other damage threats, and they invested a lot to get traded. And in the end, still didn't have enough tools to take down the other 2 members. Naughty Boys, they're still strong as a core of 4, and they're going to start to knock down these structures.
Yeah, they are, and they've got this dragon to peel back to if this continues to be a success, or they can just end the game, depending on how it goes. Another double kill for Visi on the Smolder. They have pushed it and pushed it. They scaled. They have played for 3 odd hours. They've got the Baron. Oh, he doesn't want to go quietly into the night. That's going to be a great play from Kaisa to just try and take out Visi.
Nope.
But no, there's no damage that can do this. There's nothing that can stop the Naughty Boys. Not even a beautiful hook from wearing sweats. In a best of 3, it is going to go to the Naughty Boys.
Yeah, fantastic series from them. I mean, it was so back and forth for so long, but that third game, they just proved that they had the ability to weather the storm because it looked so good for the Mana Rights at the beginning. We were praising the ability for the Blitzcrank and for the Kaisa to get these early kills in the wrapper and for the Pantheon. I mean, Seraphine died like 3 times in a couple of minutes. It was a rough game for her, but we talked about the scaling element and the fortitude and the ability to just hang in there, and Naughty Boys absolutely demonstrated that to a T.
Yes, they did. And I just hope that everybody at home, all the players, everybody takes a moment to just acknowledge how great this series was. Such great games all around. I know today it did not swing in favor of the Mana Rights, but I hope that team holds their heads up high. They've got a great fan base. They've got great players. I mean, just everybody showed up today. And that's all you can ask. So I think these teams are going to just have a fantastic season.
Absolutely. And then, you know, the consolation prize for the Mana Rights is that this is only the beginning of your season. So you have plenty of other opportunities to win games. This does not make or break your season. Yes, for the Naughty Boys, like it feels really, really good to get the win, to walk away with that, have that momentum going in your next level series, and to show that, like, not only can you win a very close series, but that you have, like, mental fortitude to go a long time and that you have the ability to pull out different drafts. The caveat to that, though, for both these teams is they showed a lot with all 3 of these games in terms of where the mentality is for how they play and how they approach drafts. So that's something that other teams can kind of take a look at in some of these longer series. But I think, you know, kind of playing both sides here, like Mana Rights, a lot to learn from. You know where you messed up, like some instances where you kind of overplayed your hands, like, but nothing that was super egregious. It was just kind of like passively losing in some places. And then for the Naughty Boys, like definitely some areas of improvement where you can win a little bit more decisively and be more careful, but very happy with the win. So plenty of takeaways for both the teams.
Totally. Realizing, yes, of course, you got takes 2 to tangoed, which Pickle Hater explained. You don't have to do any of these things, but this is just there's a certain constant hum of nonsense in the low budget LCS, and it makes me so happy. But yes, I mean, where to even go from there? What a great game. Horizon, it's been so much fun casting with you, man. This has been a blast.
Yeah, man, that was a tremendous amount of fun and a great series to do it too. Like a great way to have a first cast, you know, in this executive league with 2 teams that are going to look to get their season started off right. And I mean, I think that series delivered. I think it'd be really hard to say that you didn't have fun watching that.
Oh my God, absolutely. No, it was incredible. It was so fantastic. It's like, it's tuckered me out. I'm like a toddler. I could put myself to bed right now.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a unique kind of fatigue that comes with being involved in series, the emotional roller coaster that you have as a caster and watching those moments and just not knowing what's going to happen and thinking that you've got the prediction right, but then just seeing players do incredible things. I think that's what makes this such an incredible sport, and it's what makes this such an incredible opportunity to be able to cast games like this and be part of a league like the LBLCS. So it's been an absolute honor to be on the desk and looking forward to doing more.
Hell yeah, we're happy to have you, man.
Awesome. Are we doing any sort of interview?
Oh shit. Let's
Can we get
do
traded? Can we get traded?
let's do a one question interview. Let's do yeah, let's do it. Naughty boys. Anyone want to? We'll see. As always, you don't have to say yes, but you certainly can. If anyone wants to come on and say anything. There he is, Mr. Zelius, joining us on the desk today, the mid laner of the Naughty Boys. Congratulations on the win, man.
Thanks. You'll have to forgive me as well. I'm at the tail end of strep throat, so I sound a little funny.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, man, but I'm glad you're on the mend. Okay. I'm gonna toss my question out here. First of all, very exciting series to watch. We got you on the death-defying Akali, the high-flying Silas as well. And then I want to talk to you about your two-tower deep assassination plays that you're performing on mages here. This has just got to be personal affectation. I loved seeing you go as deep on a Victor as you went on the Akali. Is that something that we can expect more of from you throughout this season?
Yeah, definitely. I have a bit of an ego problem, and if I play really well in lane, like if I chunk the enemy laner and I still have full health, my brain just tells me to dive, and I have to. It's like a calling. I'm like Golem with the ring.
With the ring, never change.
One of the things I wanted to ask you is we were kind of taking stock across all three games and sort of the performances that we were seeing. That third game, I think, where things are kind of arguably one of the worst starts that y'all had, where bot lane. The previous two games had been getting pressure, but it hadn't really gone so badly. Team comms wise, you have Seraphine and Smolder getting pressured really, really heavily, and Seraphine's died a couple times. Team wise, what is the comms like in that moment where you guys know you'll have a scaling comp and you'll have late game insurance? Like, were y'all worried at all, or was it like fairly calm?
I think Vizzy was doing a really good job of, keeping us in check with the fact we have Smolder. There was definitely some points in the mid game. The Manorites were doing their team comp very well. It felt like three of my deaths were just like instant ults and just very well played by them. So it felt like we were getting pinched, but Vizzy was doing a good job of keeping everybody in check. It's just saying that fight was close. Imagine how it won't be close once I have execute. And then once he came online, it felt like it was good night.
Sure. And then
yeah, we felt that moment in the game for sure when it started to shift in favor, and you guys just you waited it out. That was the plan, and you executed.
Yeah, it was super fun series. The Manorites. This is like the third year I think now that I've been in their group playing against them, and they've gotten like 10 times better each time we play. So shout out to them as well.
Another question for me: when you have a player like Traded, who's fairly good on a number, it seems like fairly good on a range of champions, and has that pressure point where he forces other people to kind of respond to him. He's kind of that pressure point that you guys can apply. What does that do as far as y'all's team's mentality? Like, does that give y'all a sense of freedom, or is it like just kind of a bastion that y'all rally to?
Yeah, Traded is an awesome pickup for our team. He's actually our lowest point player on the roster. He's just so unreal though. When he locks in, and self-admittedly, he's not much of a macro genius, but he has easily the best hands on the team. So it's nice to just, especially when I'm down 0-1, bot lane's down 0-4, it's nice to just hear him up there top lane yelling, getting solo kills game after game after game. Yeah. So he truly is a team morale blessing.
I'll ask another one since it seems like Chance is working on something. It'll be the final question for me. But looking forward to the remainder of this season. Obviously, this is just the start. It's a full best of 3 series. So maybe a lot for your opponents to kind of take away from that. But for you guys, for your team, how does it feel to start off the season with a win?
Yeah, it's definitely good. I won't lie, our practices have gone awful. we played a 3 block. I won't name the team because I don't want to out their strats, but we played a 3 block against another team in our group, and the entire 3 game series lasted about 45 minutes, and none of the games went well for us. So the fact we were able to turn it on for game day and get a win out is good.
Well, that's also super intriguing, and you should maybe shoot me a DM. We'll stream some of those. We'll tune into some of those matches.
He wants the knowledge.
Yeah, I do. Always. The greedy caster wants to see awesome things play out on stream. Well, congrats again, Zelius, on a win and just a super exciting series. Thanks for giving us so much to chew on here.
Thanks so much, guys. Thanks for casting. I look forward to watching it back. Have a good night.
Thanks, man.
Beautiful. Well, what a great series. Can't think of a better way to sort of kick off some Exec Madness here.
Yeah, I mean, that was a fantastic series to get to start off with. Like I said earlier, it's really hard to be upset at that when you start a season that way. And like, if that sets the tone for the season, when you've got great casters, great players, great moments, like that's how you really build like something really, really fun and exciting to watch. And the LBLCS has been something that like I've watched for a long time, as far as it's been around, and watched it grow. And so to see it to be at this point and to see it having players of this caliber, like it's really exciting.
Aw, shucks. Well, I'm sure everybody's happy to hear that because I feel like a lot of people that watch are also people who are playing in the league.
Awesome.
All right, well, that's pretty much it for me. I am ready to go to bed, my man.
I'm ready to call it a night.
All right, thanks everybody for tuning in. Appreciate you all. Have a wonderful rest of your night.
See you guys. We'll see y'all next time.
Gone are the gray skies, clouds are blown away. Time is on our side with a dandelion wish. We dream our cares away. Let the summer sun shine. Let the summer sun shine. Sand in your toes when you're leaning for a kiss. Breathe in the moment. There's nothing quite like it. Sound of the ocean, breezing in the air, like two lost cats away. Let the sun